love you guys. Dance off, bro. I have the high ground. Expecto Patronum! 39 days. What people want. Survive.
On the Tribe of Nerds. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tribe of Nerds. Matt, Michael, and I are here to conclude Survivor South Africa with Survivor South Africa Return of the Outcasts. And what an exciting way to end it, aside from, of course, the interviews that we'll have later. But yeah, I mean, let's get right into Return of the Outcasts. So I guess, like, what are your guys' impressions of this season? And obviously, Matt, like, yeah, you can share, like, behind the scenes stuff about what you know, and because this is a very interesting season.
I'll go first, and we'll save Matt good stuff for the main event.
Yes.
I always have a lot of fun with returning cast seasons. It's great to see people coming back and playing again. I did my little prediction video, which went up before this, which was wildly inaccurate. Where was Kieran? Where was Anesu? I'm heartbroken. This season, gameplay wise, was fantastic, and the players were great. But man, the formatting of this season really dragged it down for me. The just cliffhanger after cliffhanger, random episode endings. I was like, what are we doing? Why? Well, it didn't have to be 24. I know Matt liked it, but we had a whole episode about a buffalo hunt, or no, a rhino hunt.
It wasn't a hunt; it was saving lives.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got a mixed message. So there was just some odd cliffhangers in there where I was like, it doesn't really feel like it warrants it, but on the whole, it was a very entertaining season. Would have been great if it was like 18 episodes.
Yeah, I agree with that, because like that's my other problem with this season as well, or one of my only problems is that formatting. Like, if they had made it 18 episodes and not had the cliffhangers, I think it would have been better. But I know Matt has more info on that, of course.
In fact, I'm just going to say it now because you guys have brought it up. It was originally ordered to be 18 episodes, but then the network said we need to cut it down to, I think, either 14 or 12, and the production was like, we can't do that. So then they made it to 24.
Oh,
so that's why is that the compromise?
I don't know. Well, because they had so much content, so that's why they just added 6 more episodes, and that's why there's 6 cliffhangers, because they had 6 extra episodes.
Wow.
Yeah,
well, 18, I didn't like it.
Yeah, 18 would have made this like number 1 overall, probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially like when you get to the end game of like any season of Survivor, even some of my favorite seasons, when you're down to like 6 players, there's really not much left to say.
Right.
And for a long time, it was like, well, Phil's going home if he loses, and everyone knew that except for Phil. So it was just this long drawn out death where we all knew what was going to happen if he lost immunity, but it was dragged out over like 5, 15, 20, 30 episodes. And I was like, poor Phil, just put him out of his misery.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting, like, going through and like dragging out certain things. Like, I get it, like, we have to have an episode where we leave off on a cliffhanger because Shona just got hurt, but like, we want to see like how that ends up, or like the challenge, like leaving in the middle of the block challenge at the final 7. Like, we want to see how this ends. We don't just want to wait till the next episode.
Don't even get me started on the one challenge they ended like at the final 4, where it ends on a cliffhanger of Phil slipping, and then next episode the challenge ends 3 seconds into it. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And he was fine. It's not that I'm glad he was fine, but it wasn't like a Shona injury. I think if they were going to do this kind of thing, they should have put the cliffhangers in the early and mid part of the season. Like, just get them all out of the way then, so then the end game is just normally formatted. Because at least there probably was more to be seen when there was more players in the camp, and maybe that would have worked better.
Yeah. I agree.
Stupid network changing this after they've already filmed the season. Like, come on. And then they put it on 4 nights a week as I talked with Marian about this. It did terrible in the ratings during the week, but did great during the weekends. And she told me why. Because it is easy to knock off one night during dinner time to watch an episode of Survivor. You can't do that 4 nights in the week.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know Australian Survivor does what, like 3 nights a week?
Yeah, but they do it during the weekend, so it's easy.
Right.
So it's easier.
Right. That makes more sense. So,
Yeah.
well, let's talk about this cast. And do we want to like go, I guess, by season? I think we did this for the Australian seasons, and then just like talk about who came back. So, I mean, Matt, you would know maybe more than we would for like the first 3 South Africa seasons. Like, was there anybody from those that should have come back? I know 3 was Nico's first season, right?
Yeah. The only person I would say would be Ashley, but she was a finalist, and this season doesn't really have any. So
Okay,
that's basically it.
that makes sense. Okay.
Great conversation, guys.
Yeah, great conversation. All right, well, let's go to, so I've seen 4 and 5 as well, so like I know about their original season. So season 4, Maldives, Tejan came back from that season, and if you watch 4, Tejan was the standout. Like, he was ahead of his time in season 4, was like the mastermind, was like basically kind of ping-ponging between alliances and like taking people out from both sides, and then he just got caught by the time it reached like final 7, reached the merge, and just like people just did not want to work with him because he was a snake. So like, I'm glad Tejan came back. I'm glad that they had that pull to bring him back. I know he didn't exactly do the same things he did in season 4 this time around, but
He was a hungry boy.
Yeah, he was a people. It's
But-
hard to think when you're hungry.
yeah, I like him though.
They
Still.
should have had Snickers sponsor Tajan. Are you kidding me?
Who would have Tejan turned in? Like, who would he have actually been? Like, out of celebrity?
I don't know. The celebrity. Oh, I was thinking he was going to be the guy from Philippines, Ace. Like as soon as he eats, he turns into Ace.
Ace, the as Ryan Wayne says, the chaos gremlin.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, any other thoughts on Tejan? Are we good to hit the next season?
I liked him in the pre-merge portion of the game, and then he got very hungry and he was just kind of dropped off.
Yeah. And you already covered everything. So
Right. And then season 5, this is where a quarter of the cast comes from Champions, which is like an all right season. Like, there's some really fun stuff that happens in there, but I feel like the production for South Africa Champions was just very different, and there were some not so great decisions in that season that hurt that cast.
you can just say it's having the 2 captains. That was the worst.
Cornet and Mark. Yes.
Yeah, worst twist I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, so, but from that season, I mean, Shane and Marian are no-brainers. Like, they were stars of South Africa Champions when that season was happening. I think if you're going to bring people back from the pre-merge, I think Shona and Phil had some interesting, memorable moments. I mean, Phil had the sugarcane stuff, and then Shona had the David shaking his underwear in her face.
Well, that and the so you're a flip.
Yes.
Flippier.
Yeah, so I'm agreeing with them. I feel like the the interesting pick that every All-Star season has, that one is Killarney this season.
I think even she was surprised.
Yeah. I mean,
What are you
listen,
talking about? She ran the season. She was the mastermind. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
She's super nice, but I just don't. I think somebody had to have turned down the spot because I don't know why. I mean, or maybe production just saw something in her that we just never got.
Yeah. It's just, I think her story was good. We hear her story later on. Like, I totally
not
see
good,
that.
but it was emotional.
Yeah, emotional. So, yeah, that's the word. But yeah, I mean, it was odd for her to all season to be like, oh, I'm controlling the game, or like, I want to make a big move eventually, but now I can't do it now. And it's like,
can we change the meme from Sue's big move to Killarney's big move?
yes.
I feel like she was a goat. I feel like she was a goat that the other campmates like dressed up into a lion. and she just caught reflections and was like, "I'm a lion," and then, "Oh shit, I'm a goat."
Oh, that's pretty good, man.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
mean, I remember also in Champions, I believe her being an early boot, she also faced a little bit of racism from
Yeah,
Zan.
Oh shit.
yeah,
So like that sucks.
yeah. She's the one who quit, who ended up quitting, right?
Yeah, he quit the very
Yeah,
next round.
yeah,
So so I think Xavion should have come
yeah.
back. I would have loved for him to be back. I think he was a great player and like
Same here, because as I told you guys off chat, his Instagram, he's gotten older and he has aged like a fine wine. I would have loved to have seen him back.
yeah. Well, and like the fact that he was like super cocky like in the very first round and then got humbled and then was able to just turn it around and play like such a good underdog game into back into a controlling position
Mhm.
and then he gets idled out because Sivu stole an idol like that he shouldn't have had in the first place.
Well,
Like,
he didn't really steal it because Shane left. Oh man, that's that whole season. Michael, you didn't
yeah.
see it, but back then you were allowed to steal idols from people's bags, so it's just
Oh
like it just
damn.
made things
Chaos
way
season.
confusing. Yeah, and then Shane is the second person ever to be voted out with two idols.
Yep.
Oh, Shane from
Yeah.
this season.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
he
Okay. He
he
really
went
kept that
out.
quiet. Usually, when people come back, that's a big part of their production.
Right. Well, he went out at 7, just like
yeah,
James Clement in China with two idols. Like,
yeah. It's just like why it was
yeah,
so close.
yeah. It was wild. But Shane, in that season was more of like strategic. Like he was more conniving, and I know like, well, I think he mentions it at Final Tribal of
Yeah,
like why he went
Yeah.
a different route this season. So I understand. It's also just like sad because I definitely wanted to see more of the conniving mastermind Shane.
same.
I mean, I've not watched that season, so I'm just kind of like smiling and nodding. But I'm so glad that it introduced me to Marian. So that's something
Yes.
because
Yes.
Marian was fantastic on this season. What a
Yes.
revelation!
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, she is a really good player. I mean, we're gonna talk about everything she does right. Like even when there's things where her back is against the wall, she's able to find a way to put it on somebody else and get them out. Like it's very, very good.
Yeah,
So
Dino made a good choice.
Yeah,
yes, yes, very much so. All right, season 6 Philippines. We obviously talked about this. So we have the Mindanao three of Tevin, PK, and Tony. I think they all deserve to come back. I mean, looking at it, I think it didn't help them obviously to all come back. It very much shot them all down, but but I'm glad they did come back. And then it was
Palesa.
Palesa, of course, Queen Palesa. I love that she came back as well. I mean, she was such a star in Philippines, even with her mistakes that she shouldn't have made.
Yeah, and
And
her
he,
insane luck.
yeah, and here I feel like she was very much robbed. So, any other? And then was there one more from Philippines? Oh, and Seamus.
Oh shit, yeah, sure.
Yeah, Seamus, of course.
Francesca.
Yeah, the Francesca of Survivor South Africa, the second first boot to ever come back. And I feel so bad for Seamus that
Same.
he didn't get to last a lot longer this time. Because I really think he was trying to be different and play differently. And then just, I think he had the reaction of he just got left out of a vote. So he's going to overplay to try to correct it. And then that's where it fell apart. So,
I mean, he had like a 600% improvement record, so
right.
it's pretty good.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on the Philippines returnees? All right.
I covered all my
Yeah.
my cast thoughts.
Well, that's true. Michael did
Yeah.
cover all his thoughts.
I'll let you guys take this bit.
Okay. Island of Secrets. So we have Tanya, the chaotic queen that she is, and very much you can tell why they brought her back, but like she's never gonna be a good player because she just gets into too much drama for no
Yeah.
reason.
She learned nothing.
Oh my God. I feel like some people should have still kept her in the game, shockingly enough, but they were never going to because of how much chaos she caused.
Yeah.
Pinty should have been voted out instead of her saying that now.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, like I said, I think that was Tevin and Sheamus's mistake. They should have gotten rid of Pinty.
Yep, and then they immediately paid for it.
Yep, yep. So, so Tanya, and then we have Felix. So
Yeah.
Felix was a huge shock as well, but I'm so glad he did come back. I
Yeah.
think producers must have
Damn.
something in him that he could correct his mistakes and be a good player. And so I'm glad to see that potential get realized for him.
Yeah, he's like the Whitworth of the season, where it's like, why is he back? And then just like surprises us all. It was so good seeing Felix in the season, man. Man, he was so much fun.
Yeah.
Blew my mind. I think most improved player of the season. Like,
Yes.
even though Dino, obviously position wise, did fantastic from like early boot to winner, but you could see in his early season that he was, he had a strategic mind and he had that mindset about him. Like Felix, between his first season and this season, it was night and day. It was like two different people.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It is crazy to think about. So then we also have Dante and Meryl, who were a pair in Island of Secrets. And we talked about this when in like our chat with like Dante specifically of like he has a good read on the game, he just reacts poorly to everything.
Yeah, I understand coming back, but then Meryl's the one that's like, that's so. If we had to cut somebody from the post-merge SWAT, from the merge tribe, like this is the person I would probably cut because it's like I didn't really see much of her game in Island of Secrets, and then here she actually did well, but it's like there's like I would have liked Anesu more than her. I know
Oh my
Michael.
God, yeah.
I know Michael definitely would have. So
Yeah. Well, I feel like I'm shocked that it wasn't an SU, to be honest, but like I guess they must have been going for trying to get a lot of pairs back to see how they would play together again, like Shane and Marian and Dante and Meryl and
Tony and PK.
yeah, Tony, PK, and Tevin. Yeah. And
wow, that merch, that Masu tribe was like stacked with pairs.
yeah, I know. That's so odd. So yeah, and then we have Steffi as well, which Steffi, I was more impressed with this time. I liked her even more this time because like I feel like she also was really working on correcting the mistakes she had last time, and then she just gets sniped out of the game like in a crazy blindside.
Oh yeah.
She's got a good track record of going out in spectacular fashion.
Oh,
Both
yeah.
of her seasons, her blindsides are brutal.
Yeah.
Bring her back one more time, just to just to have a great tribal.
Yeah. Well, and the fact she also like I know because she says it in the show, she had like a torn ACL or whatever during playing. Like that's insane that she was able to still do great in challenges and like play as well as she did with that injury. So, all right, and then Immunity Island. I mean, Chappie's no brainer. Sadly, it did not work out, but it was too soon for Chappie's. But also, like, I understand why they wanted him back so soon.
Yeah, for sure. Poor Chappies, man.
I know.
Yeah.
Damn you, Dante.
Yeah, damn. And then of course Dino. We're going to be talking about a lot about Dino here. He fulfills. He fulfills being like the super fan that gets to live his dream, and I like loved that for him. It hit more. I think it actually hit more this time on the rewatch than it did the initial watch for me because like initially watching this season with the formatting was not as good. I feel like as I appreciated it more on this rewatch. So
yeah, you also watched this season live, right?
I think I watched it. I think I watched it a little bit after it came out fully.
Okay.
So I didn't think I don't think I watched it as it was actually coming out. No.
Okay.
I think like Dino's someone who's so easy to root for because he's one of us.
Yeah.
You know, he's a super fan. He's like, we all would love to go out there and have that experience. And so to see someone like Dino go out there, and especially, having an underwhelming first experience in the game as someone who loves it so much, to then come out and play a second time and to have this big winning game, and yeah, it's just amazing. He seems like a lovely guy, and I think the title of Soul Survivor couldn't have gone to a nicer person.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
Unless it was
maybe.
Marian.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe Marian.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're both nice, as you guys will soon be seeing, because they will be two of our at least 3 interviews from Return of the Outcasts.
Yay.
So excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. And then we have Terizo, who again I think is also a big super fan, from what it seems, and she actually was playing like a good game early on, and I think she just got swapped into a bad situation, and in this case, and really just couldn't fight it through.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind seeing Terizo again, honestly, because she definitely still has more in her to give.
Yeah, another big
Well-
surprise. I didn't think like too much of her in her first season, and this time she was great. I was so gutted when she got voted out. I really thought she was going to pull it around, but sadly not.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's if she comes back, but I don't know where, unless if we somehow get South Africa back on the air.
Yeah, exactly. And then of course the big question mark, Pinty.
Okay, I was saying this. It kind of makes sense because you also want somebody who went early, and then
Yeah.
she is like kind of physically strong, so you probably want like a female on the Yantu tribe who could like do some stuff. Because
Yeah.
you have Tanya. I mean, no offense to her, but she's a little bit older, so it's like you need somebody to be like the muscle of the women there, and I guess it's her. And as I learned through doing this, her first name is No Lead, which I had no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think they needed I think I said it, they needed a pre-merge woman from Immunity Island, or I guess another one because they had Terizo already, and
Yeah.
so yeah.
But yeah, that's all we can really say about Mighty. But the people that we want back, we already know Michaels. I would have liked to have Ting Ting back as the pre-merge. Like she was definitely screwed over.
Mhm.
And then you wanted Jacques back, but as we
Yes.
mentioned, he wasn't really able to do it because of the COVID and the kids, and he lives in London.
Yeah. I wonder how Jacques would have done on this season. On a second go.
I'll say this now because Jake already knows this, but I don't know if I told Michael this. Jacques still played a major role in the season because he told Dante go after Dino, and then boy did Dante try to do that.
He tried.
He really did. Wow. That's crazy. Jacques got to live his dream too of influencing.
Which I understand, Jacques. Like Dino is a super fan, and as we learned, he would win if nobody went after him.
True. That's very true. Again, Dante's reads were correct, just not. He didn't do it in a way that made people want to follow
His
him.
emotional reads were
Yes.
way off.
Yes.
It's probably almost a relief if you're out there playing and Dante is gunning for you because it's like you're safe because no one ever gets on board.
Right. Exactly. All right. Anything else we want to mention before we get into breaking down the episodes?
Let's get into this mammoth season.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. It's
Should have
here.
been 18 episodes.
Yep. All right. So episode 1 kicks off. We get some confessionals from our cast as we get to the beach. And this was this again in South Africa?
Yeah, I think it was on the Gold. I think it was like around the same area as the last one was.
Okay. It looks similar, but not totally the same areas. So
Oh, sorry, it's not the Gold Coast. It's the Sunshine Coast this time.
oh. Oops.
Close enough.
So yeah, we get them on the beach before the first challenge of the season. Some memorable stuff that I do remember is Seamus getting called out for not having emotions. I remember that. Which is kind of sad, but any other memorable lines from and then Chappie's giving the call. Like that's just so Chappie's, and I'm so glad we got that from him.
Yeah. At least
So-
we did get some good Chappie stuff in there in his and he also got 2 episodes because of
True.
this weird season format. My first note, unsurprisingly, is from Tanya. Is yours from Tanya?
What is it?
Oh, when I came here with my little astro planet cheat sheet, I was hoping I wasn't Uranus. I love you, Tanya.
Yeah. Some of my notes are Pinty saying who let the Ice Age out when she sees all the season 4 and season 5 players.
I missed that. That's actually funny.
Shona saying I was really hoping not to play with any volatile players, and then she sees her tribe. She's like, oh no, especially with Pinty and Tanya. Then what you talk about Seamus having a heart because Seamus goes, my heart is beating out with my chest, and Tony goes, you have a heart?
Yeah.
And then Dino says, I'll always panic on the inside because someone is always out to get you. Then it immediately cuts to Dante. I just thought that was a fun little thing.
Yeah.
We edit new.
I do also remember Chappie's having the line of like going up against Dante and being like, I'm the Aquaman now.
Yeah, Dante and Chappie's have an Aquaman off.
Yeah.
We also get a really fun line from Teresa where she says, all I wanted was to play well enough to come back on a returning season. And then I didn't play well enough, but I'm back anyway.
That's the dream.
I know, right? And then this one from Marian, I really felt because she said, I have this fear of a pre-merge because I was the first jury member. I know I can rock the merge. Yes, Marian, you did, and I will too.
Yeah. I feel like, well, now I know what it's like to be a first jury member in Big Brother, but still, I mean, it's Big Brother, but not Survivor, but
nobody
still.
cares.
But yeah, I mean, this is a great opening, and we get the iconic opening challenge of pulling the ring to like your flagpole. This is, I mean, they did this in Fans versus Favorites 2, Winners at War. Like this is just a
They
staple.
also did it in Island of Secrets because Dino has this quote. It was Steffi. I didn't even know who was with Steffi. The game is done because it's Steffi.
Walking on water. Yep. Yes.
Yeah, she's like one of those lizards that just.
It's just amazing. And she did that with her bad knee too, which is incredible.
That's insane. Like, so good. Any other memorable moments from this opening and this challenge?
I have one. As Chappies and Dante are tangled with Felix and Seamus, Nico goes, it's a Mexican standoff. And I don't know if he knows what Mexican standoff is, because Mexican standoff is where people are pointing their guns and they don't do any action.
Yeah.
So I don't think Nico, maybe it's different in South Africa.
Yeah. Who knows? So I believe the post-mergers win this.
3-1, Masu wins.
Yes. All right. So, which I definitely thought Masu was initially going to dominate more of the challenges. But
they've had more practice.
Yeah. So yeah, we get back to the camps. This episode does have the outpost, but anything memorable from the original like campsites in the beginning?
We have idle clues on the trees, which is a fun little detail, especially on a like returnee season where everyone's so excited to play. Like, just put them right there. Right. And who is Dandy like hacks them off later, which is really fun.
Yeah, Teresa was the first one to notice that, and if only she got that damn idol, maybe it would have paid off later.
Yeah. I really think Teresa is observant. It just doesn't work out for her, unfortunately. So
some of my other notes before the outpost is Marian referring to the Min and Out 3. They aren't just a pair; they're a menage a trois. That was fun. And then Tanya says, my astro plan said to hold back and observe. I did that for about 20 minutes.
Yep, because then she immediately goes to the women and starts making a women's alliance again.
Yeah, she plays the hits.
I'm like, what are you doing, Tanya? Like, you knew this didn't work the last time.
Try again. Who friggin' knows?
I guess, but yeah, it was just so funny.
Then I also noticed that Pinty immediately loses her cool about the lack of food. I was like, "Ooh, yeah, let's go, yeah,
drop in."
Yeah.
And then I remember Masu has like this is where like the Breakfast Club ends up forming as well in this first episode, which is supposed to be Chappies and Steffi, Dante and Meryl, and Marian and Shane.
Yeah, Cappy seems pretty okay by the end of episode 1. I'm like, yeah, cool.
I was
Go
so
Cappy.
confused by this of like why all of a sudden it turned that quickly, and I guess it all happens in episode 2, but like it was just confusing why this formed and then immediately just blew up. So, because it didn't seem like it would.
I'll blame PK because he says that he has Marian wrapped around his finger. It's like, oh boy, you do not.
Nope.
Way off on that one.
Nope. Yeah, so they dated for a time, they say on the show.
Yeah, they say that on the show. It's basically kind of like what Wendell and Michelle were without the kicking it. Like they kind of flirted and stuff, but nothing like ever actually happened. It was at least
it was very similar to like the Wendell Michelle thing, where it was clearly just like nothing too serious, and now it's like this big thing everyone talks about on a reality TV show. It's like.
Yeah, no, it was just very, very interesting to hear that. And then, we obviously also get a lot about with the Tony PK Tevin alliance of like they all have the Mindanao tattoos on their arms. So
no hiding that one.
Yeah.
So, so anything else before we get to the outpost?
If I was in the Mindanao tattoo gang, this is the show's commitment to the game. I'd get that thing laser taken off before the season and pretend that I had big falling out with them. It's like, I hate these guys. Look, I got my tattoo removed, you fools. They weren't committed. You could always get it re-tattooed on after the season.
That would actually be really good.
That would be good. They probably should have done that.
They can't all do it though, otherwise it's just weird.
Well, yeah.
We all had a falling out. Wait.
All right, well, then we do get the outpost, so it ends up being what, Seamus and Terizo, and then
Shane and
Steffi and Shane.
Shane and Steffi, yes, yep. This is so the outpost is a really interesting thing. I mean, we've seen like variations of this kind of thing in other seasons. I mean, this is technically like Immunity Island and Island of Secrets, but like I think it works pretty well. I do think there's a lot of advantages in this season, which I understand it, but at the same time, it's just so much to keep track of. So
yeah,
no, I didn't really have that problem. I thought it was like it was like a normal amount, and then I do like the outpost where they only go to it every once in a while versus Island of Secrets where they go to an Immunity Island where they have to go to every single episode.
That's true. Maybe it's just like again the pacing of the season that makes it seem like it's too much. So
yeah, because I think they only go maybe 6 times, if that.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not too much. So that's true. But yeah, so then they each have to vote for one person to get like the one tribal council idol, right?
Yeah.
And negotiate for Flint as well.
Yes.
Or negotiate for what they want. And
yeah, because Matthew already won Flint, so then they knew Yanti was going to eventually pick that.
Yeah. And again, I'm glad like Seamus got to do something like this, at least in his Survivor experience. Because this is a really cool thing to get to do. So
it's like, can you imagine how happy Seamus was when they win that immunity?
Yes.
Like, imagine coming in having been the first boot and then you win that first immunity challenge. Like the weight off your shoulders.
Right. Sadly, Francesca didn't get to experience it. All right. Then we can just jump to episode 2, I think, if you guys have nothing else.
Nope.
I think there's going to be a lot of jumping to the next episode in this breakdown.
Yeah. All right. Episode 2. So let's get to the immunity challenge first. This is the one where like there's the multi-steps, like they have to build the steps up, right? And then I'm trying to remember all like the
then they have to untie knots or unlock locks, and then they do the ladder puzzle.
Yeah.
But before the challenge actually happens, they reveal the votes of the outpost idol, and then Tevin and Tanya have to draw rocks, and Tevin gets it.
Yeah, I don't know that this really helped Tevin either to get this.
Yeah. It would have been more fun for Tanya to get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine Tanya going to tribal council with an idol.
I don't even know what would have happened. Tanya probably would like call everybody out at tribal, been like, "Hey, who wants this?" Or, oh my god, it would have been. Amazing.
She'd have played it for Nico.
I would have actually loved it. I really would have. But yeah, surprisingly, Masu loses. The pre-mergers do win this challenge, which is very happy for them that they got to experience like an early winning streak. But it just was very, very shocking because I thought Masu was stacked.
Yeah, I have a question for you guys because in this challenge you had the choice to either do the locks or do the knots. Which way would you do? Because Masu did the locks and then they lost, but there's more knots and it takes longer. So which do you think you would do if you were playing?
I think in challenges like that, the physical is often always like the better option because there's less chance for kind of random failure. You just have to do the physical thing, so you can see the knots and you just untie them rather than getting like stuck on like a weird puzzle or whatever it would be.
I'll probably do the same. And then I just felt bad for PK. It's like, oh no, he's going to be one of the first ones to go. And then, oh yeah, spoiler, he was.
Yeah, because he had trouble with the locks here. That definitely didn't help things. So seems like going into Masu's Tribal that the Breakfast Club is gonna kind of get their way, but everything then blows up. Chappies and Steffi are like digging at night, and this freaks Dante out, and then
which is fair.
It's
like
fair.
I love Chappies, but he does kind of he's coming in with a big target on his back.
Yes.
He's just had his season there and he made it so far in the game and he was kind of sneaky with food. And then he's up at night doing things that people don't know what he's up to. Like, yeah, that is a concern. And yeah, Dante and Tony aren't prepared to spend 24 hours a day babysitting him.
Yeah.
Right. Because
Dante made a great point of saying, you have to play a night game too if he's here. Are you willing to do that? It's basically like Tony and Winners at War.
Yeah, it's very much like that, and people weren't prepared, and like they spend the next day when Chappies is out in the ocean, like basically being like, yeah, we don't want to spend this entire game having to watch him. So it just sucks. Like I just never would have expected going into a season like this that Chappies would like be the very first one to go. So we'll get to that more of that in a second, but then it ends up coming down to Shane or Chappies. So
Shane does have like a last minute scramble to try and get it on the Dante, but it doesn't really.
He's the only one who buys into this plan.
Yeah, I loved it that he was just being willing to write Dante's name down immediately.
I also like in this season, I think I mentioned in our chat that we don't just spend time on the tribe that's going to tribal in these episodes. We jump between. And this is where I got the first hint of Felix as a strategic player, where he's trying to convince Tevin to play as idol for Dante, to try and, get that duo of Dante and Meryl as people that they could have on side going forward.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think that goes back to Island of Secrets that Felix, Meryl, and Dante were in alliance on their original tribe in that season, and so
thinking ahead.
Yeah.
Going off what you said, Michael, I also did enjoy how they went back to both camps after the challenge. If this was 18 episodes, we probably wouldn't have gotten that for most of the season. So that is one of the good things about the 6 bonus episodes.
Yeah, I do agree with that. So yeah, we get to tribal, and Tevin has to give this idol to someone at tribal, right? And who does he give it to again?
Alessa.
Yep.
Terrible idea.
Yeah, because it reinforces, okay, season 6 is working together. So
there's already so many of them. Why would you do that?
Tevin, I love Tevin, but he definitely like overplays his hand both seasons on things, and this is definitely a bad idea.
Yeah, one good idea he had at tribal was he was allowed to ask one question to the Masu tribe. So he asked Shane and Steffi why did they want to vote for Tej back at the outpost, and then it just starts making Tej paranoid.
Yeah.
It really like blows up the tribal. It's because it was quite a just by the numbers tribal council, and then like Tevin just drops a little grenade in there and it goes boom.
So yeah, we end up getting to the votes, and in a 5-4-1 vote, unfortunately, we say goodbye to Chappies. So
it sucks. It does suck.
It does. I mean, I remember watching this like during the summer for the first time, and I posted like, "What the fuck just happened on this first tribal?" And then like you comment, yeah, it was heartbreaking, and it was just it's one of the biggest shocks I felt like watching Survivor in a long time.
yeah, I just never would have anticipated. You're looking at first boots, but like first boots on returning seasons are big threats most of the time. They're gonna get rid of somebody who stands out and did something great on their original season. So like it sucks, but Chappies is in good company with people who have suffered similar fates of just being big targets. So in returning seasons. Francesca, yep.
Sierra. No, I'm just naming people who weren't that big of a threat.
Right. Compared to like
Shane Gould. That worked out because if it wasn't her, it was going to be Dirty Harry.
True. I'm glad Dirty Harry survived. So.
Got the one. I was waiting for you to bring up Andy earlier about people being voted out first, but
and then Andy.
My references are just getting so lazy.
You're just trying too hard. But back to the game, Chappies. When he gets eliminated, Steffi's just bawling and making me feel bad for Steffi. And then Chappies is as great as he is. His Xing words like so emotional about being gratitude is like. It's all right if you're blindsided or if you're the first guy out. That doesn't make you less of a human being. Doesn't make you less of a player. And well played. It was just a privilege to be part of this game. I was like, yeah, man, Chappies, you take things so well.
Yeah. Everything happens for a reason, I guess. So unfortunate.
That's kind of the start of like this season. It's going to become a huge thing of Final Tribal Council of the kind of the humanity of the game and not being super brutal with each other and still treating people with respect. And that is something that the majority of players withhold throughout this season. So Chappie's kind of set the ball rolling with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So sad to see him go, but the season still ends up going well, even with his absence. So.
All right, now I get to show off one of my first items. This is a vote from the first tribal. It's a vote for Shane. Can you guys guess who made this vote? I had to watch it back to see who had this handwriting.
Oh boy!
I don't remember who voted for Shane.
You don't have to guess. I can just tell you if you want.
Yeah,
just tell me.
Go for
it.
It was.
I remember who's on the tribe.
It was PK. That's PK's vote.
Nice. Well, let's get into episode 3. Speaking of PK, and we'll get to talk about his demise here. But anything before we get to the immunity challenge, like the fallout, the camp stuff on either side.
Really surprising.
Oh,
sorry, Steffi. The beginning of this episode, Steffi says this is the first time she's ever not been on the right side of the vote, which is wild.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, she was part of the most dominant alliance in history.
Well, that is true,
South Africa, but yeah, it's impressive.
Yeah, I do realize that now because I'm thinking. I mean, the only time was obviously when she got blindsided.
Yeah. Well, you mean publicly assassinated? I think.
Yeah, publicly assassinated. Yeah, not blindsided, publicly assassinated at that point. But
trademark.
Yeah. Then other things before the challenge is Play says happy being in the majority alliance for once, and that made me laugh because it reminded me, oh, she really wasn't at all.
No, she on the other side of the coin of from Steffi, Palessa never voted correctly like that much, except for I think Marishko is the only time.
Yeah.
So
PK also says that he's in full control of the tribe. Ooh, that did not age well, buddy.
Nope. I think he only says that because of the fact that him and Tony got spared. So.
This is probably the only time Shane has a good quote because a lot of his professionals aren't that good, which I'll explain why at the end of the review. I like making sure people are blindsided going home with no oxygen in their lungs. So, damn, that's kind of cold-blooded, man.
That's the Shane I want.
Exactly. That's the Shane I want too.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this guy's going to be exciting.
Yeah. This was Shane in South Africa Champions. Like he would constantly make these like quotes and references to just slitting people's throats, and it was amazing.
It was so good. He was such a good professionalist. And then before the challenge, Triso tells Tanya and Killarney that Tevin found an idol, even though he did not.
So funny. It's when later on she just tells this lie, and then later on when Tevin's like, "What's going on here? Like, why does everyone think I have an idol?" And Teresa kind of awkwardly walks into the back of the conversation, like, "Oh," she kind of gives like a Jim Halpert look to camera of like, "I stirred some shit here." This is also where Tanya isn't happy because Piney's eating too much food and says she's a greedy little piggy.
Yep, and that quote is going to come to bite her in the ass because
and get made worse with an added word.
Yeah, this is not great. You never want to like talk shit about people like that, especially when your name is going to be on the chopping block as well.
Speaking about this Yantau idol, Seamus actually finds it, and it only lasts until the third travel council. It just made me think of Survivor UK all over again. It's like, why? Why can't it just be like a normal idol?
Yeah.
You attend. 2 words. Yeah. You attend. So much better.
Yeah. You attend. I mean, US has been really good about that. Of like.
Yeah, one good thing they've been good about.
Yeah, one good thing. All right. We get to the immunity challenge, and is this the one with the crank and the board in the water?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. So, yeah, this one is where, once again, pre-mergers, the Yontao tribe is going to win their second immunity in a row. Again, shocking that they are just on this little winning streak here. Who would have thought the underdogs?
To fight for, yeah, underdogs. Yeah, exactly. It's like they really do not want to go a tribal, which is understandable.
Yeah, absolutely. So, anything else memorable from the challenge itself?
Just that Dante was terrible at landing the balls on the perch.
Oh,
that's really no I really have.
Yeah.
I don't make notes on challenges, you know that.
Yeah. I just kind of
I don't care.
I just stare blankly sometimes, and then if I see something good, because as soon as I've seen it once, it's like I really don't need to see it again, unless if Chappies are saving lives.
Yes. So then we get to see the scramble at Masu continue. I know. So Marian does find the diplomatic immunity, right?
With Steffi. Yeah.
Yes. So I know that happened, and then I know that Marian gets campaigned against because of her skin condition.
Yeah, I was going to bring. Yeah, this is. I like Tony, especially after speaking with her, but
yes.
This is like, oh, I do not like this.
Yeah, this is hard to hear because I would not be targeting somebody for a reason like this. Like, this is just a personal thing.
Yeah, not defending it in any way, shape, or form. I think this is classic kind of wanting to take someone out and trying to spin it in a way that you're being you're being nice about. When in fact, if she just said, "We need to take out Marian because she's a big social threat,"
yes,
like fair enough. But she tries to spin it as this thing where she's like she's doing her a favor in some way, and I think it's her not wanting to put her head out too much and that look like she's playing super strategically. But yeah, it's not a good idea and not great.
Yeah, absolutely not. And so basically it's going to be between Marian and sounds like PK because of the fact that they think Tony will not. They know Tony will not take it well, so they know like getting rid of PK is going to make it better for them in the long run. And yeah, I mean, I think what really seals the deal for Marian to stay is showing like Dante and Meryl and everybody, the diplomatic community, like securing the 4 votes she needs to stay and like locking it down. This was such.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, this is so good. So,
and also, there's a lot of players from season 5. There's a lot of players from season 6. Season 5's players end up going all the way to the end. Season 6 players get picked off. It's going back to Tevin playing that idol for a season 6 player. season 5 players managed to completely just hide themselves and not be called out, whereas season 6 was seen as this huge big threat that they need to start taking these players out. So again, I think that's good gameplay from everyone that's involved in that season.
Yes.
Yeah, going back to the first tribal, that we touched on this, but Marian even throws out Shane's name as the vote, so that helps distinguish season 5 from season 6.
And yeah, season 6 was not able to do that, and that's why they were the first season to be completely gone. So,
you know what they did? They played Friend Fiver.
They did.
They did. They very much did. Yeah, so we do get to tribal, and Tony interestingly says like we can't lose another guy because like we'll lose challenges if we get rid of all our guys, and so very interesting there. And then we get to the votes, and 5-4 vote. PK is blindsided. So
yeah. I think when Tony's backed into a corner, she just gets quite, I mean, we know she gets emotional, but, throwing out, we need to get rid of the female. It's like, I don't know. I just don't understand her gameplay sometimes.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like even in the next episode, she says like she'd rather have gone home because then the tribe would still be strong. It's like, it's PK. It's not Superman.
Yeah, it's not Rocco.
Yeah, that's the name, right? Yeah. One thing out of this tribal, Tony and PK both said they expressed frustration about their tribe talking about the Mindanao tattoos and how it prevented them from playing a new game. Well, you also did that, as we talked about, like defending everybody from season 6.
Right. It was very bad gameplay on their part, and I kind of I'd like to see PK last a little bit longer, but also he has a huge problem with this season and like making moves when he shouldn't, and like so I don't think like PK was ever going to be long for this game in this season, unfortunately.
Unless it played drastically different, yeah.
Yeah, and then he probably still feels bad about losing to Tom in that UFC fight.
Oh yeah.
And then one thing that I know, this is probably the only time I noticed Nico doing like a JLP line where he says, if information is currency in this game, then some of you just got shortchanged. So I thought, I noticed that because normally Nico doesn't really usually do those.
Yeah,
it's very JLP.
Yeah, exactly. All right, episode 4. So this is where we are going to get our Tanya downfall arc.
Before we get there, we have to talk about Tony argues with Dante, and
yes,
Dante immediately starts yelling, "I'm the emotional one. Don't yell at me. I'm not yelling. I'm apologizing."
Yeah, this is when two highly emotional people get into a fight.
I'm not yelling, I'm apologizing. Who apologizes at that volume?
Yeah, it's bad. That's so bad.
And then I like Tej because he immediately goes up to Dante. He's like, please apologize to the lady. You did raise your voice.
Yeah.
Like, man, Tej is a nice guy. Until he starts getting hungry.
Yeah.
Our little hungry boy.
All right. And then I'm pretty sure Pinty and Tanya already start fighting again.
Yep, because they're not fighting about food. They're fighting about who's allowed to sleep next to the fire.
Wonderful.
We've compared Tanya and Rebel Cal quite a lot, but I mean, Tanya has a quote here which could so easily have been Kelly, where she thinks that that Pinty is a bully, and she says, "I think that's what makes me a giant because my heart is a giant."
She is very much Rebel Cal and Debbie Wanner.
Yeah,
like crossed together. So it's hilarious.
And speaking about sleeping next to the fire, somebody sleeps a little too close as Dino falls into it.
Yeah, this is where he inhales the smoke and burns his hands.
I just thought, talking about all these ridiculous cliffhangers, make that a cliffhanger. Do the tribal council, come back to Marian with Dante and Tony arguing, and then end on the cliffhanger of Dino falling in the fire. That's a legit cliffhanger. Not Phil falling over on a challenge.
Good idea. I'll send the notes to Mnet and let them know you're 2 years too late. Oh, sorry, go.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah. So I mean, like, Dino is getting his hands completely bandaged up, and
And then Seamus says, "I got you. You can lose your hands, but you're still here." It's like, Seamus. Like I really did appreciate Seamus and Dino's relationship until Seamus, had to target him.
Yeah. I mean, again, it we'll get to that. I mean, that very much comes from Seamus being left out of the vote, but we'll definitely talk about it. Anything else before we get to the next immunity challenge?
We do get the full package of lives of Meryl, Steffi, and Marian.
Yep. Yes. Yep.
That was what I was going to say too. So
yeah.
M&Ms. They could also have done M&Ms.
Oh my God. That's so good.
I'm going to tell Marian. I didn't even think about that until just now. I'm going to message her.
Yes. Yeah. She should definitely know that. All right. So we get to the next immunity challenge, and I think I'm thinking of the next episode.
This is when they hold the net and they throw sandbags into the net.
Yeah.
But before we get there, there's some fun things about Dino and his hands. As Campfire 1, Dino 0 continues the reigns of being the victim of my own stupidity. And then Nico says, "You should heal in a couple days, though the damage to your ego," and then he just trails off.
Yeah, this is good. I was trying to remember this challenge because this is one I definitely forgot. So.
Yeah, this is when they just throw the sandbags into the net, and is for reward as well, which is for future life. And then Masu wins. This is their first challenge win.
Yeah. This is definitely crazy that they're able to now come back and show that they are more of like the challenge beasts that we thought they were going to be. So, all right, let's get to more Tanya versus Pinty.
You also get the first of many times that Phil made me laugh on this season, where Phil thinks Pinty and Tanya are like an annoying rash.
Yes, yeah, that was good. Yeah, I really like Phil. I think he was probably funnier on his first season.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not saying funnier in his first season than this season. I was saying like funnier, I guess, that they didn't show in his first season. And then now we get to see that what we missed the first time. So sorry, I worded that way poorly.
I was like, I'm going to go back and watch it.
I do not remember Phil being that funny.
No, Phil was hilarious in this season. Like, I'm glad we got to see more of like his personality because he lasted.
He's also hilarious, which you guys will be seeing when we talk to him.
Yeah.
It's just one of the funniest Zooms I've ever done.
Yeah, he seems like a riot. So, but yeah, and anything else before we get to the tribal? I mean, is this where Tanya starts like yelling at Pinty about like everybody being too scared to stand up to her?
Yeah, the big confrontation at camp, where everyone's involved. Everyone just sat around watching this thing blow up, and we get a fantastic confessional from Tanya after all of this, where she says, "I think my biggest strategy today is to shut up. If you want to be appreciated, shut the fuck up."
Tanya.
Oh, sorry. One more thing on Tanya.
Yes.
I'm going to get my Tanya stuff in.
We're
going to lose that.
This is your last chance.
She sneaks up on the water well, like sneaks in like George. She does like a King George, and like a snake in the grass.
Oh my God. We need Tanya versus King George now.
I think we know who's going to win that one.
Yeah, that's true. But no, George would probably actually keep Tanya around. So
100%. He's carrying her through.
And Tanya might not even turn on George this time. So, All right, so we get to tribal, and yeah, I think there's more fighting again.
I got another Tanya.
Yes, keep
Do it.
going, keep going.
She we're going back to Survivor UK. She says, I'm definitely on the chopping board. We're cutting down vegetables again. How are we back here? It's chopping block, Tanya.
Yeah.
Maybe she watched Survivor UK 2 years before it aired.
Time travel, baby. Yeah. She saw it in the stars, Michael.
Yeah. It was in the Astro Planet, yeah.
The only other note from this tribal I have is Dino gives like a nice diplomatic answer about getting rid of Kenya, and the Nico goes, so Dino, basically you just said if you're causing a disturbance, you're out. And then it cuts to like Dino, he's doing like this, like he's like as he's just trying to fumble over his words. It was just like a fun little thing because I sent that clip to Dino to ask him if why he did that. He's like, I don't even remember doing that.
The Dino mannerisms, they're gonna be a big part of the season. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like for Dino, like again, trying to be diplomatic. I mean, that's just part of him being a nice guy. So
Those are really good. Like we don't see too much of it, but the fact that Dino's not even in consideration, like he fell in the fire, he's got two bandaged hands like the Penguin. You know, he's not even up for consideration of going home. So that's a testament to his social game early here.
Well, also a testament to Tanya and Pinty, not having a social game.
Right. That definitely helps. All right. Well, so Tanya's going to just get unanimously voted out here. So
Seamus played the idol for himself too.
Yes. Yeah.
And then after the votes, Shona plans her fake idol, which I was hoping so long for the season to come into play. And then Seamus also plans a fake idol too. Like what the hell?
Yeah, the pre-mergers really wanted to plant these fake idols.
At least Dino gets it out eventually, but I don't blame Seamus at all, by the way, for playing his idol despite not being in danger.
Yeah,
right.
He's getting through his first tribal council by hook or by crook.
Yeah, well, didn't Tanya's also like, you're not going to play that for me, are you?
Oh, I wish he did.
Oh my God. And then got Pinty out. And then, actually, I mean, it would have been better for him. So,
yeah. I don't think people were like super desperate for Pinty to stay. It was just one of the two. So I don't think people would have been super angry at Seamus if he had done that. Yeah, I think Tanya would have calmed down a lot once Pinty was gone.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I think part of it was also like what the straw that broke the camel's back was also like Pinty's going to be stronger at the challenges at this point.
Breaking her opponents.
Yeah, maybe a little too strong.
Yeah, a little too strong. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, anything else to say on Tanya as we say goodbye to one of the craziest?
Nice to have her back. It was nice to have her back. Just like a dying sun, she flamed out. So
yeah,
burned brightly and then flamed out.
Michael, anything to say on your other crush, Tanya?
Call me.
All right, that's the end of week 1 because there were 4 episodes a week. So now we're on to week 2, and episode 5 is probably one of my favorites of the season because so much goes into this episode of like everything that goes into the blind side here. And I know this is the episode where we get the no BS alliance of Phil, Felix, and Dino. So this is going to be huge for the rest of the season.
No BS, baby.
Yeah. It's really good. So I enjoyed this a lot. And what do you guys think? What other stuff before we get to the immunity challenge?
Phil and Seamus acknowledged that Tanya was kind of right about the issues with Piney and are now willing to address that. And Phil says that he's the rope dealer. Take all the rope you want and you can hang yourself with it.
Yes, this was good. Matt, anything?
Just that Felisa wants to make amends with Dante, but Dante's ego is too much to deal with. So she says his ego has risen to the top like cream in a good coffee.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
I thought it was the tentacles.
Oh.
She says she wants to see how many tentacles Dante has so she can have herself a nice octopus meal.
But we had to get that Golden God reference.
Yes. Also, Marian wants to tells Tony to try and keep blue blood strong. And I was thinking, don't say that, Marian. That's what Werner did. That's how it all went wrong the last time.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right. So this immunity challenge is the one where they have to like run past each other. It's just from Champions versus Contenders 2, and you ring the
Trench
bell.
one, yeah, the trench run. Yep.
Yeah.
That's why you're here. That's why you're here.
Yeah, we missed Grayson Waller. Yeah, I mean, I really like this challenge. But the pre-mergers get absolutely creamed.
Yeah. 5-0, yeah. They get pulled apart like a nice bread bundle because that was what the reward was. Because yeah, I do like how when you pull the thing, like a bunch of colored smoke pops up. So there was some nice flare.
Yes.
It would have been nice to see the red smoke, but we didn't really get it.
Yeah, unfortunately not.
They
But
should have done white smoke and we got a new pope.
There you go.
I thought that was
Okay,
good.
I thought that was good. I'm not gonna lie. If you make a good joke, and I may not laugh, I will acknowledge it, sir.
I thought that was my best one. My reason off.
Same too. Apparently, Jake doesn't know about the boat and the smoke.
apparently not. But I'm sure it was good. All right.
Thank you.
So yeah, now the pre-mergers are gonna scramble, and some of them are ready to get rid of Pinty, Tevin, and Seamus, as well as Shona and Killarney. Like that's the group that wants to get rid of Pinty, right? And I mean, Pinty's originally gunning for Killarney, right? Because now they're not getting along.
Yeah, because I think it was Killarney who was the one who was like very confused during the challenge, where she runs and then somebody. Sorry. And then somebody passes her and she doesn't know what to do. That was such a good, well done one, Michael. You're on fire today, man.
Brought it back.
You're on fire.
I said in our what season was Seamus on?
6.
Philippines. Yeah. I said in my Philippines thing how Seamus had a fantastic confessional about playing Survivor being like losing your virginity and hoping it lasts longer than you think it will. And he has another fantastic one here where he says, talking about the conversations that were happening, the things that were said were kind of like boobs without nipples. Pointless.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one, man. He has a lot of sex confessionals. Jeez.
Yeah.
I feel like me and Seamus would get on.
Some other things that happen before Tribal is this is a very idol heavy episode because Steffi finds an idol that's valid until final 6, and then Tevin finds an idol right in front of Felix.
Yeah.
Idols are littered around this island.
Yeah, this is definitely.
Yeah, maybe this is why Jake was like, maybe there's a little bit too many.
Yeah, this is, and the fact like this is definitely going to help lead to Tevin's downfall even more because finding this right in front of Felix. But again,
well, Felix doesn't know. Nobody knew that Tevin had the idol.
Oh, I thought he found it right in front. I can't remember.
No, he found it like right in front, but Felix was over here
and he put it in his coat.
He was able to put it in his coat without anybody.
Like Doug and Peg leg.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I will say like this is definitely like again like these one episode downfalls of like somebody finds an idol in an episode and then goes out with it in the same episode. Like it's pretty fantastic.
If there's that many idols in the season, it's bound to happen. More regularly.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna litter in my funny Phil moments from the season. Phil says that Pinty is loyal. She's full of shit, but if we save her, she'll be as loyal as a dog.
Oh my god. People love doing the loyal as a dog reference. We got Stevie saying it in Australian Survivor. Like, I don't know. I still think that Stevie's reference is probably my favorite way to say it because it was just so like out of nowhere and it was Stevie saying it, so it made it funnier.
One of the funniest lines in Survivor history. So good.
Yeah. So
Yeah, well, if I'm ever on Survivor, I'm just going to make some cat ones. You know, it takes a while to earn their loyalty, but when you do,
And if you
Yeah.
break it, they'll scratch your eyes out.
exactly.
Yeah. So the No BS Alliance realizes, and Terizo, like they realize that they need to make a move to like take away Sheamus and Tevin's power. And yeah, so we get to Tribal, and it is a 5-4 blindside, and Tevin is one of the biggest blindsides in this season. So
In,
thoughts?
in the run up to this tribal council, Tevin's final confessional, he says, "Last time I played this game, I left because of overconfidence and complacency. That will never happen again."
Oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah. Also, going into Tribal, Teresa wants to get rid of Tevin, but wait for Phil to pitch the same idea.
Yeah.
So then Phil will be the one to take the blame.
Yeah, this was really good from her. Again, I really feel like she was robbed of going further. Yeah, I mean, any final thoughts on Tevin? I mean, it's disappointing that he's two-time pre-merger, because I still like him, but I just think he definitely made critical mistakes to both times to get him in this position. So
As he's walking out, he says, "I'll have to keep this idol in my groin as a souvenir."
Rumor has it it's still there to this day.
yeah, yeah.
Well, later during the reunion, he tries to give it to Sheamus. So I don't know, man. Maybe there's something going on there.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Episode 6. So obviously Sheamus was left out of the vote, and this is going to lead to him doing his Sheamus thing and overplaying. And unfortunately, he decides this is the time to now try to gun for Dino. So
Yeah, in the tribal council at episode 5, Dino whispers to Sheamus, "Don't write me off. I've got you.
Yeah.
You understand? Like, let's talk." And I think if Sheamus kind of, builds bridges with Dino at this point, he probably does have a longer life in the game. But he goes,
yeah.
guns blazing for Tevin.
Yeah. It was just it's just unfortunate because Sheamus just really wanted to play, and I do believe Dino really would have had his back, so seemingly. So
Sheamus also says it's no skin off my nose. I've never heard that saying before. Is that like a UK thing, or is that like a okay?
I've heard no skin off
it's
my
like it doesn't matter.
back. Yeah, because here,
back,
here is no skin off my back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, anything else before we get to so we have a reward challenge. Yeah, so we have a reward challenge because we have the one where they spin the wheel for the food, right?
Because this reward challenge is going through the obstacle course on like a little train, and Dino is having the time of his life in the car as he's like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, I did remember that. That was fun.
Yeah, then Yatel wins, and Killarney spins the wheel for a bag of lentils, and then they get to pick 2 people from Masu to come, and Tony spins to get mac and cheese.
Yeah, thank God they span again. What a shit reward if they just
I
walk
know
away with
that was,
lentils.
Yeah, it also would have sucked because they took off lentils, and then there was just a blank spot. It would just suck if Tony got that.
Yeah. And then the immunity challenge. What is that one for this episode?
Solve a maze puzzle to retrieve keys. Do parkour. Oh, do parkour where they jump between things, and then they do. And then they do the letter slide puzzle. And Dante does not handle his cool well during this challenge.
Nope.
They've already won.
Yeah. Yes. Do the thing. We already won, man.
We won. Chill, my dude. He's like screaming, wait, 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 because he doesn't think they've got the outwit part of the puzzle yet. And they're all like, we've done it. Relax. And even after they've got the win, he's just kind of like still so up a height and angry. It's like, you've just won immunity. Calm down.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so the pre-mergers lose, and yeah, so Sheamus is still trying to get the numbers to go for Dino, and everybody is obviously going back to Dino and telling him that Sheamus is gunning for him because Dino's a better social player than Sheamus is. So, yeah. So, unfortunately, Dino knows that they have to get Sheamus out. So,
Yeah. I think if Sheamus like tried to pivot the attention back on to someone like a Pinty,
yes.
I think he could have probably got that off the ground. But yeah, he overplayed. What can we say?
Yeah, I mean this should come as no shock after Philippines. So. And I do find it interesting again how Sheamus always guns for the person who ends up winning. So
He's got a knack, yeah.
yeah. So
Well, in that case, when you bring Sheamus back to play against Malcolm for you, Jake,
yeah, we really need that, or like George or something,
or Phoebe for me.
Yes.
Oh, Andy.
Yeah. Okay, no. I think we're good. I think we would rather have Dirty Harry there.
Yeah.
Michael.
Yeah, Dirty Harry.
I already did my reference.
I know. If you're saying you want Andy over Dirty Harry to win, then there's something wrong. Okay, there's something wrong.
It's time for Phil's funny moments.
Yes.
In a new recurring feature on the podcast. In a shed full of sharp tools, I wouldn't pick the Kalani tool first.
Yep. Yeah, I have that one in my notes too.
That's so good. All right. Yeah, so Sheamus goes. It's unanimous again, isn't it?
6-1-1.
Oh.
Killarney and Dino were the other votes. Who the hell voted for Killarney?
Probably
it was Phil. It was Phil because he wanted to make sure Sheamus had.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, goodbye, Sheamus. You had at least a little bit more time than Francesca did on her second time, so
I really liked Sheamus, and I would want him to come back again, but I don't think he will because in his parting words says, "I feel like I've not just closed the book on Survivor, but a very, very dark part of who I used to be."
Mhm.
And then because I messaged him to like come on the podcast, see if he would like do like a 15-minute interview. He's like he just doesn't want to talk about Survivor anymore, which is totally fair.
Yeah. Understandable. So, all right. Episode 7. So this is where we are going to get our swap episode and another cliffhanger because this is where we have a challenge from Survivor Philippines that didn't even get finished, and we get Shona getting injured, which totally could have been avoided.
Before we get there, Phil is not happy that Pinty is celebrating Sheamus's blind side, and then he has this quote: "This is the thing that will get Pinty voted out. Her mouth, not my mouth."
Yeah,
he's like the confessional king of this season.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
As well as the challenge king.
Yes. Yeah.
And then for the tribe swap, I like this one where they have to pick a vial of water, and it's just like a fun little thing.
Yes. Yes.
And then Shona gets yellow, gets to pick which tribe to go to, and then she goes with her allies. So.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense, but also I don't know, like it'd be tough for me because I wouldn't want to put myself deliberately in a minority position.
Yeah, she chooses the minority. Honestly, I kind of liked it. I rated it.
Yeah,
like it's so ballsy.
It is a bold move. So,
like it doesn't work, but it was bold.
And then before she picks it, Nico says, "You feel left out? I'll give you a hug." And then Dino goes, that's worth more than the 2 million there. And then Marian's like, "I feel left out too." I mean, same. I also feel left out if I was there.
Yeah. Anything else before this challenge?
Oh yeah, I have a bunch.
Yeah.
Shona wants a unity chat for the new Yantao, which immediately pisses off all the former Masu members.
My note on that is that I think Shauna would get on with Paige from Heroes versus Villains Australia.
Yeah.
But if only got like Paige,
Got like Paige, yeah.
but he doesn't.
Her opinion on
then,
Shauna is still up in the air. We don't know.
Shane says you're here by invitation only regarding Shona's chat. And then Phil makes a good point that this game cannot separate Shane and Marian. Their entire Survivor careers, they've been on the same tracks. It's just insane. Like random twists and everything. They've always been together.
That is wild.
There's also the Outpost where Dante and Tej go.
Yes, yeah. And this is does Tejon get the I'm trying to refresh my memory on like
well, first off, Dante starts reading the note. Please feel free, and then Tej immediately goes for the juice and starts drinking it. But basically, they each find an idol clue, not a hidden flint in the rice. So then they each have an idol clue, which will later be each idol will have to be given to the other side.
Also, it's a trade-off situation, and Dante trades fishing stuff for like a little basket that Tejon brings. Like, what is that little basket? It's not an even trade.
There's like I think there's like a machete and like some other tool in it too.
Because I just thought
I know the other two. Yeah. And then also Dante tells Tejon to reach out to Felix. Are you too tight? Not yet. He was in my season.
That was the worst excuse ever for like, you know, you guys are actually friends. So, oh my God. Yeah, no, Dante can't really lie much either. So, but
and Dante also finds that David, Sean kind of swap tribe idol, but he doesn't swap them he doesn't swap it at all, does he?
Yeah, no. This is a twist I always like. Like I think every Survivor season should like bring it back like every 3 to 5 seasons just to make it a little bit harder to get in idol.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yep. All right, well, let's get to our muddy and painful challenge. And we said this in our chat when we were watching, and I thought I remembered that Pinty went and literally body slammed Shona, but no, she just kind of falls backwards on her. But like, yeah, I mean, this is just crazy because how dangerous these physical challenges can get. So
this isn't a challenge that always ends in a stalemate as well. Every time they do it, it cuts like 2 hours later as they're just resting against these blocks. Which season was it in the US where they just called it? I think Penn was
Philippines.
Yeah.
And they made the deal for sandwiches. Yeah.
It's like only when they do this in the water does it make it a little bit easier, but doing it in the mud, it's like it's never worked out. I don't like.
Yeah,
no, I mean, it's impossible.
Yeah, they should have done this in the water because the times they did it in the water, like Australian Survivor All Stars, or it worked a lot better and people didn't actually get hurt. So yeah. I think they did this in Survivor China as well, and that actually did finish though. So
well, that had James, so I feel like that.
James is like actually Superman. So
instead of Colby, who's just a guy in a Superman in a fat suit.
Yeah.
But can you call someone Superman that's been medevac twice? I don't think so.
That's true.
He was only in medevac once. He was voted out due to an injury.
He was voted out.
Overtime. He was voted. Tom was voted out over him, which is I'm still not over.
Yeah, I'm not over either as a Tom Westman fan as well.
All right. Well, back to this challenge. After Pinty falls into Shona, she says, "I can't breathe," and then Meryl goes, "That's not good." It just killed me. Because she deadpanned that.
Yeah, but I feel so bad for Shona that She had to suffer this injury. And like at least she gets to try to come back into the game. And then it just gets immediately cut out. But
Yeah, we can just go into episode 8 because then this round is called a stalemate. But then they play, so for the final round, they played 2 more balls and it still lasts over an hour. So
multi-ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, this just isn't a great challenge.
Yeah, and the part that I hated was Tony finally scores, but Nico wants every inch of that ball over the line. I'm like, come on, man. They've been here for like 4 hours, dude.
Right. Yeah, I can't imagine doing something like this. So
I don't blame Tony for putting mud all over Nico after that.
oh yeah, that was funny. All right. Well, so yeah, the Yontao tribe loses the challenge, and
it's like they've survived like like some kind of horror show. Like they're all like sobbing and so emotional afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, Christ, they went through the ringer on this challenge.
Yep. This is definitely rough. So we then get Nico comes to camp and Shona comes back, but because of everything that happened, they will get the night off of tribal till the next day. So
some notes I have is after they lose, Phil says, "What the hell plan can I have? I have no plan. My plan is to stay alive another day in the game."
Yep.
And this is also where Dino finds an idol. And then he says, it can be played until there are 6 players left in the game. I can't wait that long.
Gosh, this move, if this would have gotten pulled off, and we will obviously talk about it here shortly, but like why it doesn't, but this would have been so exciting.
I still have way more quotes. Hold on, man. This was a quote heavy episode.
Yeah.
Then when Dino reveals the idol to Phil, does my package look good in this?
Yes.
You got something? And then it cuts to Phil. I didn't see it. I don't want to see it, but it's there.
Yeah.
He didn't touch his bum like Simon and Geordie.
Yeah. Feel the ass crack.
Yeah.
Any other quotes before we get to this tribal?
Dante says, "I love for my vote to go to Dino tonight. It's still going to Dino."
Oh, yeah, because this is where he's like, yeah, again, hardcore pushing for Dino and like basically telling the girls that they'd better vote for Dino or he's going to like be the biggest threat, which he's not wrong, but
damn it, Jacques.
So then we're gonna get to so the girls end up pushing back on Dante to instead go for Shona. So then we get to tribal, and so Dino plays his idol, and what should be a vote where Phil, Shona, and Dino vote Dante out in a big blindside. Phil flips because he got scared and votes Shona out of the game.
Yeah. But why didn't Shona do her part of the deal? She was supposed to get the idol and mess up the vote and get people to switch the votes onto Dino, who was going to be playing his idol. But she just sat there and did nothing.
Well, she was having hard times breathing. Maybe she was focused on that. And it's also up to Phil. I mean, like it comes into the next episode. Play says mad at Phil, we don't need a plan to go step A to A, B, C, D. If the plan's going how it's going, just do it.
Yeah, because this is also, they make a deal with Palessa to like have her work with them secretly, but like, yeah, this is again why I think Palessa was robbed, because she was in like a pretty good position on this tribe where she was in the middle. Nobody really knew that she was kind of playing both sides at the time. So, yeah, I feel bad, but yeah. So anything to say on Shona here? I mean, Shona, again, as we mentioned earlier in Champions, was like a fun pre-merge character. So it's cool she came back. Seems like she was a big Survivor fan. So unfortunate that her journey had to end with an injury and getting turned on out of.
Excuse me?
I felt bad for her.
Yeah. Anything else to say, Michael?
No.
well,
I
bye,
do. Well,
Shona.
I have a vote from the season, and this is Marian's vote for Shona.
Nice.
Yay. What's on the corner? A star.
A heart.
Heart. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. All right. We move on to week 3 now with episode 9, and we get to see the downfall of Piney finally. So, yeah. What else goes on?
Dante.
Yeah, Dante
Yeah.
happens.
Dante
Yeah.
says everyone should start listening to the fucking Messiah.
A little bit cocky there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, because at Tribal, he's being very cocky and like what he's like whistling and like being like, that's why you guys should have listened to me or something after everything goes down. So
We talked about this in our chat. I don't know why, because he's kind of the archetype kind of player that I really don't enjoy.
right.
But for some reason, I just love Dante. I really don't know why. I can't put it into words. I just find him so much fun to watch. He's kind of crazy, but I
Yeah.
like that. And if everyone else can have a nickname, Kings and Jokers, why not the Messiah? Dante is the Messiah.
Well, that's a little bit too high.
Well, because Chappie stole Aquaman, so
Yeah, true.
That's true. Well, okay, so I guess we can just steal nicknames. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, and everybody has to be a fucking smiling assassin.
yeah,
on.
Yeah.
that's true. That's true.
Back to this episode. This is the quote I was thinking about with Playset regarding Phil. He was waiting for cues from Shona, but we said we would do it, and that's all that matters. And I agree. You say you're going to do something, you don't need 16 different cues.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Again, I really think this is a big mistake from Phil to do this, but I mean, he's still able to, challenge Beast his way through, but yeah, this he really shouldn't have done this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he really should have put out, like his shirt says.
Yeah.
I knew Michael would enjoy that one. This is also where Taj shares the idol clue with Tony, and then I think they eventually find it. Yeah, eventually, yeah.
We
Yeah.
get another collapse.
Yeah, Killarney collapses, right?
Yeah, like this season, so they talked about like the lack of food and stuff. Like physically, they went through the ringer on this season, and guess what? They did it in 39 days. None of this new era. It's so difficult. We don't have much food.
Yeah, I don't agree with that with the new era because we do not get these moments in the new era, no matter how hard they claim it is. So
Yeah.
Bring back players collapsing.
Yeah. Then after she collapses and she's fine, Tony says, "You're supposed to faint." After he tells us about the reward.
yeah. All right, and this is the challenge where Terizo gets confused
This is
yeah.
the Dino one. This is the Dino one.
Yeah,
this is one of my favorite. This is one of the funniest challenges I've ever seen.
Yeah, because everybody's just, confusing Terizo by yelling for Dino, and just like it's so good.
It's so smart.
Yeah.
It's kind of dirty player, but yeah, absolutely. Immunity's on the line.
But the part that really but the part that really killed me was when Dino kept saying towards me, straight, and then Tony goes, "Fuck off, Dino."
Oh my God. So yeah, the Yantao tribe does win the immunity and the reward. And now we get to go to Masu to watch Piney get blindsided.
Before that, we get to go to the Fresh Stop Shop where they all get to, go in one at a time. This is where Meryl finds the tribal council pass and the cake. And then one thing I noticed in this, there are like a shit ton of green bananas. Who the fuck are going for those bananas when you have chicken, cakes, desserts? It's like, what the fuck? Why is that even there?
Yeah, it's still
Decoration.
not. It's still not as good as Australian Survivor All Stars, where they're throwing cake everywhere.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we needed a Nick Idanza or David Jeanette.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed during this is if Meryl was smarter instead of like putting her hand in the cake, like eventually somebody lifted it up. It was not like on a platform and there was a hole in, so you could have actually put your hand in the bottom of the cake and then pulled out the thing,
Oh,
which would have been nice.
yeah.
Who can resist an opportunity to punch a cake?
Yeah, yeah.
That's true. That's true. I don't blame anybody.
It's more fun. All right. So now we're gonna get to the downfall of Pinty. And
Well, no, it's been happening since the beginning of the
well,
game.
yeah. But the final implosion of her game. So it's gonna end up being where Tejan and Tony, right, are gonna like, or is that next episode where they're
No,
they're
no,
gonna,
no, no. They're in the middle now.
yeah.
So they're the ones who go to the east side between Pinty or Killarney.
Yeah, because they end up pulling in Killarney because they're able to get her to come through because Killarney is like knowing that she was on the bottom of the original Yontao. I remember, yeah. So
Kind of crazy that this tribal council is a goat off. Like,
yeah,
which one will go?
yeah, it's really funny. So yeah, 4-3 vote. So Pinty goes, and this is where Pinty looks at Felix and is very upset.
Yeah, and he had nothing to do with it.
Right. It was funny.
Like he freaks out and says, like, talk to me. It's like, it's too late now. We've all voted.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't really talk to you now.
Yeah.
There is also Teresa has a really good strategy here, which it doesn't pay off, but I really liked it, which was she wanted Kalani out because she wanted to be seen as a goat that could be picked up by people.
Yeah.
Which is a super smart strategy coming into the merge if people see her in that light from her first game or how she's playing so far, but she was clearly more strategic than a Kalani or a Pinty.
Yeah. Yeah, I really think like I said, if Teresa can make it through this swap situation, she goes a lot farther, I think. Like she's gonna be fine once she gets to merge, I think. So all right, anything else to say on Pinty?
I
All right. So now episode 10, and this is unfortunately where we're gonna say goodbye to Teresa. Anything else to kick this episode off?
This is where Tej finds the idol and he wants to give it to Dino since Dante wants Dino out. And I'm like, yeah, Tej, pick the right side, man.
Yeah, this was pretty good. I was very, very happy that they were gonna save Dino there.
like Tejan was really good during the swap period. Like I thought he was one of like the main players to watch coming into the merge. I was like really impressed with him. And then he just kind of fell off. But yeah, I really loved how he handled this swap period.
Yeah, this was more the Tejan from season 4, where like this was very much his game in that season. So it's just disappointing where things end up for him at the merge, but
yeah.
We also have another funny Phil moment where Shane pulls in Phil for a conversation to try and get Dante out, and Shane wanting to build trust with Phil immediately cut to a Phil confessional. There is nothing more I want in this game than to turn on Shane and put out his flame.
Yeah, this was funny. Yeah, it's just crazy to put all the season 5 people together. So
worked out for them.
Yeah, I really did somehow. All right, anything else? All right, the immunity challenge.
This is when they have the big wrecking ball and they have to move.
Yeah. The one from Champions versus Contenders one. Yeah. So this challenge is cool. You know, you have to have like the leverage and the aim to be able to like make it land on the tiles and
the momentum too.
Yes, the momentum. Yeah. So Yontao wins again, and Masu is going back once again, and
Tony does a shitty job of handing off the idol.
Yep,
very clumsy.
Yeah, I
did like that. I did like that Tony was the one that was going to do it because she's more of a huggy person than Tejan is. It would have been so funny just to see Tejan going in for a big hug and everyone like, what?
What?
That would have been funny. Yeah, I remember like I feel like the most embarrassing like idol handoffs. I mean, or maybe not handoffs, but I think the idol moment. I think the poop idol from Sharn is still like the most embarrassing one.
Yeah. Ah, so you saw that, did you?
Yeah. All right. So then Masu is now going to split the votes between Felix and Teresa. Well, that's one of the plans. The other plan for Tejan and Tony is to flip and help Teresa and Felix out, but they do not end up doing that. So, um, do we think that they should have honestly worked with Felix and Teresa instead of with the side that they end up going with was it was Killarney and was it with Steffi?
I believe it was up the
Yeah.
it
So
was the Felix. Oh, hold on, let me look at this. Oh yeah, because it was 2-2-2. Yeah, it was very
yeah,
confusing.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, now I remember. Cool.
yeah.
Um
Steffi voted for Felix.
yeah, so should they have like actually worked with the Felix and Teresa side over Steffi and Killarney?
I thought so at the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought so too. Yeah.
Yeah. The I don't know, like I if there's a move that can be made, sometimes I would rather like do that than just do like OG tribe strong.
Yeah.
I just think
Yeah, Tejan says that he doesn't want a loyal goat like Killarney. He wants someone to bounce ideas off of. So
Yeah.
but he chose the wrong path
Yeah.
then.
I know, but that's what he
I think
said.
definitely. I think also, Felix ended up having, good connections with Phil and Dino and with Teresa in that mix as well. Like maybe that's a group that he can get on board with and have a better game rather than Kalani, who's kind of just going to be there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought they made the wrong choice.
Yeah,
Which
well, what were you gonna say?
mine's unrelated to this, so
I
So
was just gonna say I feel like then later on they can work on like breaking up that like coalition of Felix and Teresa and
yeah,
Dino and Phil, but that doesn't need to be a concern till you lose a couple other people. So
yeah. And like we say, the games kind of just fizzle out uh, once they hit the merge. So I think they would have had
yeah,
more options for sure.
yeah, yeah.
My next thing was that there's a fun interaction between Shane and Dino, where Shane says, "I've got pull over there with Tejan and what's her name?" Dino goes, "Steffi." Yeah, Steffi. It's like he's got pull over there. You can't even remember the girl's name.
Oh my God.
yeah,
Shane.
then Meryl and Marian are talking about Dino getting the ILO or an advantage, and Meryl goes, "If he holds onto an advantage, he might trip and hit you with it because he's so clumsy."
I love the
Accurate.
narrative that Dino's so clumsy that he will just like
Well, he was in the first season. He even admitted it. He was a little bit
right.
sloppy.
Right. And then I mean like it just the narrative gets pushed because he falls in the fire. So
Yeah, that's true. One other note I have, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but when Steffi wears her buff with her like hair, she looks like Ahsoka from Star Wars.
Ooh.
I even took a screenshot of it, and I will put that in the chat. Like it took me a while to realize what it reminded me of. It's like, oh, that reminds me of Ahsoka.
Um, oh yeah, yeah, I can totally see that.
Yeah, the Ahsoka braids.
So Katanu. Tano. Yeah, yeah. It's really, really cool. Sweet.
I'm trying to think of I can't think of another reference for. Move on.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So now we're gonna get to tribal, and unfortunately, Terizo, after the split vote, they revote, and Terizo is voted
Yeah,
out.
and she refuses to turn on Felix, which I
Yeah,
thought, well, I
yeah,
mean, great. I mean, she's loyal, but it's like, save your game.
yeah, yeah. She absolutely should have voted for Felix for sure. So that was just unfortunate. Yeah, I really liked her on this go around, especially. Seemed like she was able to get way more of her footing than in Immunity Island, obviously, and then just this bad swap and people making moves against their better interest, just unfortunately took her out. So,
He also goes out with a fantastic quote. Tony says sometimes writing someone's name down is a compliment, and Teresa says, "Please don't compliment me."
Yeah. All right. Anything else to say on Teresa, or are we ready to start setting up for our combined tribal?
I really liked her.
Yeah,
Big
same.
improvement up.
Yeah, I really like it too.
Yeah. All right. Episode 11. This cliffhanger sets up that combined tribal. So here we go with the craziness.
Yeah, starting off, Phil says, "I'm not safe. I don't know how to be safe."
Well, once individual immunity comes into the game, he will know how to be safe.
Yeah, that's right.
Anything else?
Felix feels like punching Tijan in the throat because he was too cowardly. Which is...
Oh, that's so good. They do have that. Then they do have the ball challenge where they have to hold the ball up above their head on the little pegs.
Yeah, and before that, Marian basically knows that they're about to hit the merge. She is in a great position. She can either save herself and go to the other tribe, or save her friend Steffi. Like this is awesome to be in this position.
Yeah. So this is the big moment. So Marian does use the diplomatic immunity that we didn't get to see play out in Immunity Island, and she goes over to the other side. So very much this was a very good move on Marian's part. Again, you get to show that you're willing to like take a risk to save an ally, and you get to continue to build some relationships with other people in the game. So
yeah, she couldn't have asked for a more perfect position to play. Yeah. But this challenge is nonsense.
Yeah, it's very confusing.
Yeah.
They don't get anyone out.
Yeah.
So there's like 7 of one tribe.
Well, 7 to 5, yeah.
Yeah, because it's whoever's the last person from each tribe gets to go to the outpost.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, it's like, the odds are not in their favor.
Right.
Well,
and then
no, because you're only competing against the people on your tribe.
Oh, I missed that.
Like, yeah,
See, this is why I don't pay attention to the challenges. I was thinking why they're playing for. It was for immunity, though, right?
Also, that too. Yeah, it is for me.
Yeah.
So you are right. Where the 7 has more of a chance to get the whole tribe immunity, but everybody is also going against to be the last one there, which is why Dino drops out to help Phil be the last member.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and like at the end of it, like they have Meryl and a few other people like toss their balls.
Steffi, Tom, and Tej were the last ones, and then Tony's the one who gets to go.
Okay, yeah, Tony goes, yeah. Yeah,
I like that because this is such like a long challenge as well. As the sit-out bench, the drop-out bench fills up, it's just full-on strategy going on on the bench. What are we doing at this crazy double tribal council, or both tribes at tribal council?
Right, because Dante and Felix start chatting, and so, still crazy to me that they were so worried about season 6, and then there's season 7 trying to get something going too. So. All right, so Tony and Phil go to the outpost, right? And this is trying to remember.
Where they both have to write down the same name of the person who goes home, and then they get a half of a split immunity idol.
Yes.
This is one of the advantages. I was like, this is a little bit too much.
Yeah, I don't know. The season just felt like a lot of these advantages were a little bit too crazy. I think that was the other part of it. It's like, this is so much.
Yeah, well, if you want somebody to blame, as on Immunity Island, Shannon Gus and Mike Bloom were also part of the team who helped come up with these advantages.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good job. I was about to say how much I like this one. I thought this was pretty cool because, also they have limited options to choose from. They get it completely wrong. But I thought this was a fun way to get an idol outside of just, you usually go to these things and you just get a clue or you get an idol. So it's like a fun little game element.
You actually sold me on that because it's also for a half of an idol. So you actually don't. Yeah. So each person knows and get their. So I like this better than the first idol at the outpost in episode 1.
Yeah. You've sold me on that too because again, it is building your relationships. So
stupid British accent. It really helps sell them.
I got your back, Shannon and Mike.
And I'll have your back during the Survivor draft.
Yes, yes. And I'll have everyone's back, maybe? I don't know.
No,
I'll have
no,
my
we
own.
are burning you so fast.
Wow. All right. So now yeah, we get to episode 12, right? Unless there's
Well, first off, it ends on a cliffhanger of Shane finding an advance, and then the next episode immediately opens. Oh, it's the other diplomatic community, but he can't use it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. This
was a
funny.
bad cliffhanger.
Yeah, this was very, very bad. Yeah, so I mean, this is where, yeah, everything's gonna go nuts here, and we're gonna get Palesa's name being thrown out, which is wild. I'm trying to even remember the exact rationale of why
Yeah, I don't remember that. I just remember everybody, like, Shane starts playing this fake event as like an actual advance.
Yes.
Dante is going to use his expired idol as an advance. Meryl says everyone is whipping out parchments and parchments.
Yes.
For
their
their pantses. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Phil comes back with a lie about their target, would have an extra vote against them at tribal council. And then Phil says to Dino, do I say sound like the truth? It was not. And then Dino just like shrugs and goes, okay, just what was the truth then?
Yep. Yep. So there's not even a challenge in this episode, right? Either.
No, it's just everybody just strategizing because they're both going to try.
Right. So, yeah. So we are gonna get to this crazy combined tribal, and so
before we get there, I have one more Phil thing. He also has an idol. How many else are there? Where is mine? Why don't I have 3? Nico said this is the hardest season. They're not handing out idols like sweets. Well, I guess technically
they kind of are, but yeah,
they kind of are.
Yeah.
Dino and Phil think Meryl is so welcoming and social, and they say, "Do you know who would fall for that? Kalani, the ultimate goat." It's like it's funny, but it's so brutal that like poor Kalani's gonna have to watch this season, and literally every episode, everyone's just describing her as a goat. I'm gonna ruin continuity now and do a costume change because it's red hot here.
All right. So yeah, let's get to this combined tribal then. And so this is where Masu is gonna have to vote for someone from Yontao is how that works because they're all safe. And so they it leads to all the whispering at tribal, and Palessa becomes the target.
And then one of my favorite Phil moments of the entire season is when everybody's whispering, he goes up to Nico. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like full on scramble. Everyone's just running around in groups. And again, this is why I really like Felix. And we know Dino's kind of a stressy player sometimes. Dino says to Felix, "What do we do?" And Felix just stone-faced just says, "Survive the vote." He's very calm and rational, and like Felix is great.
Yeah.
Never thought I'd say that after our first season. Felix is great.
Yeah. So yeah, and then we do get we get right before the votes are revealed that Dante and Shane admit that they were BSing their
Yeah. After the vote, yeah.
They put them on the floor first, like in front of them in the packages as well.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, Palessa is voted out. Is this one unanimous by the entire...
It's 10-2. Meryl's the other vote. So it was Tony and I believe Tej was the other Meryl.
Okay. Yep. So
that's right.
Sad to see Palessa go this early, especially when she was actually in a decent position at the swap. I really think she was robbed because of this, but I'm glad she came back though.
Yeah, for sure. I think everyone's so stressed. Like everyone knows merge is right around the corner, and Palessa's name's getting thrown around there. Like I don't blame people for just jumping on a name that isn't them at this point in the game to get themselves through merge. Yeah, it was so unfortunate, and like you say, she was just screwed by this mad twist. But it was a really fun twist. I really liked this rival.
Yeah. You said everybody knew merge was right around the corner. Well, they didn't know how soon it was because Nico was like, I think we better call it a night. Or since I have you all here, let's call it merge. Like this was a fun twist. Like I think they should do this
Yeah.
every once in a while too.
I loved it. And we have 7 post-mergers and 4 pre-mergers who get to make it to the merge for the first time. And Dino says, this is how it feels.
Yeah. Yep. And
And also-
Intasion thought the food he thought the buffs were spring rolls.
That's good. I missed that. But also, they get told to burn their buffs. Like, I'm not burning my buff.
Oh, no.
Why?
I thought the same thing. It said to lay it around the fireplace. So they all laid it around the fire. So they didn't actually throw it into the fire.
Oh.
I heard the same thing. And I was like, what the fuck? But then I noticed they all just placed it around the fire. And I'm surprised nobody found Shona's idol then.
Yeah, that's actually crazy. No, I mean it sucks in like the Redemption Island seasons of the US when they have to burn their buffs to leave.
I think that's stupid.
Yeah.
So stupid. And speaking of buff, Dino sent me the merge buff. Oh, let me turn off the
Blur.
blur. Well, yeah. I don't want to take off the thing. It's like, this is so rare. It's like, I want to wear it, but it's like, it's so hard to come by.
Yeah, yeah.
But Matt, I want to see you wear it like George does, like the little like face.
I can't do that. I don't know if I can do that. I'll try that. I'll try that on like a Vanquish buff because I don't really losing that.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is the end of the pre-merge. So now we get to go to the post-merge of Return of the Outcasts and episode 13. And so we do get to our reward challenge that we like to talk about, where this is a great challenge and a great twist.
Like a merge feast challenge.
Yes. Yeah. They did it in Australian Survivor. I know Brains versus Brawn did it.
Yep.
So and did any other seasons do it?
That's the only one I know of.
Yeah.
Which is funny because Brains versus Brawn would have aired right before this season started filming. So I think they were like, "Ooh, that's a good method. That's fun. Let's do that."
Yeah, so this was really, really good. I really enjoyed this, and so this important moment of Dino and Phil go to help Tony finish, which is really nice. I think and that's not even like necessarily, oh, we gotta help her because it's good for our game. It's genuinely like, let's help her because you know
she was the last one, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Shane was the first one to like knock this down, but he stayed to help Marian, which was nice.
Yes, yeah.
Like we got to help this woman win an egg.
Yeah.
Yes, the egg that Tony gets. Yes.
Yeah, and poor Steffi just crying over a whole bowl of rice. I mean, that was a lot of rice. I mean, I know rice probably sucks at this point, but that was a lot of rice.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Tej probably got the best one because he got bolognese. And he got a whole bottle of wine. Are you kidding me?
I know, right? Second best one, because this is also where Dino gets his saves the day to Outpost on day 32.
Well, I was talking about the food,
reward, which turns out to be pretty damn good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you mean this save the day?
Oh, look at me teeing you up.
Yeah, well,
that worked perfect. Awesome. Well, anything else after this challenge?
Well, just Meryl got the outsurance sin token, which she'll be able to use later to help get Tejlan's vote.
Yeah,
the hungry boy.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So then we get the first individual immunity as well. And is this one where they have to hold on to the rope?
As they lean out, yeah.
Yeah, and
this is where Phil weaves himself.
Yes, Phil relieves himself.
If you gotta go, you have to go.
Right. I mean, you're not going to be able to do it in the water, and like I mean, he had to do it. So
and he wins.
Yeah.
Work.
Well, I wondered, like, in past Survivor seasons, like, freaking Palau, like, Tom and Ian have to stand out on the buoys for, like, 12 hours.
Went to the bathroom. They went to the bathroom a couple times on themselves.
Yeah, it's...
Maybe even not just the number one.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think there was rumors Ian did go too. I don't remember, but
Is that why
thought
you
that was
quit the
true.
game out of shame?
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it was 12 hours. So.
Yeah, I just know Tom refused to change the rules, and
I did
he
hear
was
that too.
and he was going to sue Jeff. But now he has permanent damage in his foot. So did it work out? I don't know. Yeah, he won $1 million.
Yeah, true. All right. So Phil wins the immunity, and so now we're gonna get to the scramble, and I believe it does come down to either that Tony and Tajan are the targets, because nobody trusts them. Felix has thrown them under the bus completely, and proving that they made the wrong decision. And so yeah, Tony is going to be the boot.
All because well, not because, but Tej does find an idol in a tree, which was great for him. I do like he was like, I feel like it's going to be above ground. One, how did you think about that? And then two, he actually gets it, and then he immediately plays it, and then he feels bad, but he's like, well, if I would played it for her, I would have gone. So
Yeah.
Can I just say, I would be so pissed off as a not lifelong fan, but a huge fan of the show, to finally go out there and play Survivor. I find a hidden immunity idol, and it's a stone with a drawing on it. Like, it's so rubbish. Why is it just a stone with a little carving on it? I want the idol. I want to like have it around my neck and look cool. You don't look cool with a stone.
I'd still take that over the beads.
Yeah, I was just like, it's a stone. The stone's kind of, I mean, it's simple and cool, but it's like it's better than the beads.
Yeah, so,
it's simple.
True.
Well, I mean, because they were so focused on all the other advantages, they didn't have time to make
they ran out of
cool.
Yeah. So yeah, Tony is voted out after Tajan plays the idol for himself, and I mean, we got to talk to Tony, so she was very good to talk to. I mean, we loved having another interview. So
I did not like how she said after she got voted out that she would vote for Dante to win. I hate when players who have been voted out just say stuff like that, even if she meant it. Like, it still puts a target on Dante's back.
Yeah.
I my note is like that. I was like, I thought, is she joking? Because I didn't think she particularly liked Dante. So I thought maybe she's deliberately putting a target on his back. But then she does seem quite upset when he gets voted out. So it's like, why? It's putting a huge target on his back when he's already got a big target on his back. Like, I'd be pissed if I was Dante.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then as we talked to her about her in her interview, if she ever plays again with Palesa, make the final 2 deal, because Tony always goes out right after Palesa. So.
Yes, very, very true. And so she has a decent average placement as well, where I believe it's like 9th or something, because she got 11th and 7th. So
yeah.
So I mean,
and if you want to hear more about Tony's exit, you can watch our interview, because she twerked her way out of tribal council, and unfortunately it didn't make the edit.
Oh my God, why didn't it make the edit?
I know, that'd be great. There was so much content we didn't need to see. That's something we did need to see.
Yeah.
Do that as a cliffhanger. Tony just starts to twerk.
Can Tony somehow get us like that secret footage, and we can put it?
We can ask. We can find out.
Yeah. All right, well, goodbye, Tony, and we move to episode 14. So,
yeah, and then Dante says he wants Dino out. Well, no shit, you've been saying that for like 5 episodes.
Yeah,
like a broken record.
Yep, and this is where Meryl is like realizing she needs to distance herself from Dante at this point, which it took her like 14 episodes to finally realize that. And like
2 seasons.
Yeah,
2 seasons. Yeah, like,
so what, like 25 episodes or something?
Yeah. I mean, it takes
been stuck with this
while.
guy this entire time.
Yeah. Anything else?
There's the immunity reward.
Yeah,
but that's just this looked kind of tough because you have to run up a hill. It was like a pretty steep hill, but Dante was fucking running that, man.
Yeah,
he was like an Usain Bolt. But then Meryl ends up winning, which was a special for this was the same day she was eliminated last time, and it was her son's birthday.
Yeah, yeah, very, very cool. And I know this challenge was done in Brains versus Brawn as well, because they ran up the hill in that season as well, I remember. So this would be tough.
Sorry, carry on.
No, I was just gonna say that would be tough.
Okay. And Meryl gets to take people with her on this reward,
Yes.
and she takes Phil, Dino, and Steffi. And brilliant cover of using it's the people she wants to speak to, but it also happens to be the people that missed out on the merge feast. So it is a believable, reason to take them on the reward outside of just strategy.
Yeah.
And then they don't even get to do the reward for the Chinese takeout. They choose to take the blankets for the tribe instead.
Chinese is my favorite food. Like, and when they were all like, "Oh, we should do black," I'd be like, "No, I want Chinese." I'd probably end up voted out this episode if I was there because I'd throw it all away for the Chinese.
Yeah.
But then they take back a jar of fortune cookies for the whole tribe, and then Meryl is lucking out again, and this puts the target on her back from Marian.
Yeah, this is where the Three Ladies Alliance really starts to crack, and that will lead into the next couple episodes.
Yep, the M&Ms. They start melting in your hand.
Yes. Yeah, very unfortunate. But so now this is where Dino's finally gonna get rid of his rival, his nemesis.
I don't know if it was, I think it was more of a one-sided.
Well, yeah, one-sided, but all right, anything else before or at the tribal council?
Just said Meryl got the 50-50 coin. That was it, which doesn't really come up, which is disappointing because I love this thing, and it's been on 3 different seasons. We've only ever seen it used once.
Yeah, by Michelle Fitzgerald. Yeah.
And it's only made the edit twice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Check out our Matthew Haywood Survivor UK interview for that story.
Yes. So now we get to tribal council, and this is where Dante is going to go out in like a 8-1 vote or something.
7-1-1.
7-1-1. Okay.
Yep. He voted for Dino, and then somebody voted for Tejan.
Yep. Well, yeah. So Dante's going to be out. Anything to say on Dante? I feel like we've said like a lot about Dante as we've gone through this, in terms of like him as a player.
I liked him way more on this watch than I did the first time. But then it fades when he starts talking from the dirt pitch.
I was riding a Dante high, and then he did that, and we went all in on Lee. So I think it's unfair if I don't do the same for Dante here. But yeah, we'll get to that. One thing I really like on this season is that the players kind of show respect and applaud and stand and clap the players as they're voted off. It's a really nice touch, especially with returning players. It's like a good vibe. I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. Well, let's move on to another great episode of this season. One of the other best episodes, in my opinion. We get to episode 15. And this is where Steffi is going to get sniped out of the game after her public assassination the first time. Now it's a very secret one.
Yeah.
So
nice one. Yeah, it's nice. I up that.
But yeah, let's break it down from the top. So kick us off with anything that happens.
Tejan outed the full package of Marian, Meryl, and Steffi. That helps put the target on Steffi for later. And then Shane wants to get out Meryl because, as he says, even the devil would vote for her.
Yes.
Oh, Shane.
And we get Kalani coming out of absolute nowhere strategically, where she wants to shake things up with Shane and take Steffi out. And I was like, hold on.
Yeah, that's
Where'd
why
you come from, Kalani?
That's why I was confused.
Season 5, baby. No,
because I was like so confused because I remember texting you guys. I'm like, wait, I don't remember Killarney like being such a big like vocal part of this.
It's kind of ultimately her downfall because this is her one big moment of talking strategically, and she really clings to this idea that she's this mastermind behind all this, and has a real misread on the game and her place within it.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else?
Let's get to
before the
Car
judge
Award.
Yeah,
The
award.
car award. Yes, yep.
Dino
Yep.
breaks the car course, and Tejan just misses out on the car again.
Yes. Isn't this all? This is also where Tajan tries to beg Dino for the reward, which was so. This was so odd. I was just like, bro, why are you like? I don't know. This gave me Banu vibes. I was like, why are you just begging?
Oh, don't throw Tejan under the ball like under the new Hendrick car like that, because Tej is way better than.
Oh
than
yeah,
Banu.
no, I agree. Like Banu's actually a terrible player, Tajan's not. But I don't know, just the begging kind of reminded me on this rewatch of Banu, just like it made that memory go
Yeah,
up.
I would not want to take him now. I'd be like, no, I'm not taking her now.
Yeah, well they don't. So.
Yeah.
And we get a flashback to a young Tajan in his first season, like less grey in the beard, like handsome boy.
Yeah, I was definitely shocked by how much like he aged him. I know it was like 10 years prior.
Yeah,
but...
yeah.
Like a fine wine.
Yeah. He still looks great, yeah.
Which is nice because this reward was for wine and tapas. And then Dino was able to cover himself by taking Meryl and Steffi and Phil because they had just given up the Chinese.
Yeah. There's some like cool little like reasons for taking people on these rewards. I like that they attempt to cover their reasons.
Yeah, and did Dino also win immunity this challenge as well?
Yeah, he won, yeah.
Cool. So now we get to the strategizing to blindside Steffi. So it's the No BS Alliance plus pulling in Tajan and Meryl, obviously. And so it's gonna be 5-4 vote.
Yeah, before we get there, the rest of the tribe draws rocks to go to the outpost. Marian wins, and she gets the choice of an idol clue or rice. This was one trip to the outpost. I was like, do we really need this one? But then she does take rice, which is nice, but still.
Anything else?
Speaking of Marian on Tajan begging at the challenge, she says Tajan is being entitled. I'm glad Dino didn't cave. Is friendship going to buy me a new house? No, 2 million rand is.
Yep. Well, so what were you going to say, Matt? Oh, I thought you were going to say.
Have we lost Matt?
Oh, I totally missed all that because my internet is unstable. Michael, great job.
You there, Matt?
Yeah, I have unstable internet right now, apparently.
Oops. It's good.
You know what's funny? I thought that was quite a funny quote from Marian, and then I looked up, and on my screen you were just stone-faced, and I was like, wow, Matt didn't like that one.
Nope, not at all, man. Sorry. I didn't hear what you said, but I'm sure it was great. Then, before my internet goes out again.
The timing!
Tesha has this quote. I thought, oh, damn it. I saw you guys frozen too. I was like, I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to say it. Okay.
It was the second you said, before my internet goes out again, you froze like that.
Yeah, I'm not even going to try it then.
All right, go for it.
No, it's not even that funny now. No, I just thought it was cool. Passion says, I thought Killarney was the loyal goat, but wow. And then he gives like this big facial reaction. See, it was a build-up. Sorry about that cliffhanger, guys. I know we're on Outcasts, so just had to build that up.
He's cliffhanger.
We lost him again.
This is gonna be happening apparently. So I can't do anything about it.
Yeah, on that Tajan Kalani thing, Kalani has a go at Tajan in front of the entire camp, and Tajan's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then he speaks to her afterwards, and she says, "I'm trying to distance myself from you." And he's like, "Well, fill me in on the plan." And now he doesn't want to work with her anymore.
Yeah, this was terrible. Like, We've seen people make these plans and then pretend to fight with each other, and she clearly did not do that. So, all right, let's get to the tribal council and the biggest game-changing move of the season, to blindside Steffi that really sets up Dino's side to get to the end. Yeah, I mean, Steffi getting blindsided is just nuts. I mean, I thought she was playing actually like a much like more well-rounded game than the first time, and just very, very shocking to see her go this soon.
Yeah, I mean, in her first season, she was in this kind of unbreakable alliance, so she was very well insulated. Whereas in this season, she had to play a more fluid game and make more relationships across the board. So despite not making it as far, I do think she played a stronger season for herself as a player. But yeah, it ended the same way it always ends for Steffi, with brutality.
Yes. Matt, any thoughts on Steffi?
I'm afraid to, because I'm afraid my internet is going to go out. No, yeah, this was a great move. Because Steffi was in a good position to go very deep. It was such a good move. Did you notice what Dino wrote on his parchment?
No.
It says,
have you got it?
No, I don't have this one, because I'll tell you what. It says for the Chizzy, S and M, because he knew that this was going to be a big move and they were going to give him Chizzy points. So after the season, he gave the parchment to Shannon and Mike, and they split it up. And then I was like, I bet I know which side Shannon picked, and I was right. I'll send you guys a pic in the chat.
That's amazing.
That's such a badass move. If I ever play Survivor, I'm putting Chizzy on there.
Yeah, for the Chizzy. Yeah.
I would do it as I'm getting blindsided, though. Imagine for the Chizzy. Next person vote out, Michael.
That would be great. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. All right. Well, goodbye, Steffi, and we go into episode 16, which again, this was the first, maybe the only week of this season where there wasn't a cliffhanger. So 4 people in a row got voted out without a cliffhanger. So that's pretty nice.
We are at the point of the season where it's like, it's just nice where there is a cliffhanger.
Yeah. Enjoy it while you can, because it's not going to last.
Yeah, it really kills the momentum of the end.
Yeah. All right. So this is where Meryl is going to get voted out right after Steffi. So anything else before we get to that?
This is where Meryl gives Tej the out bonus token.
Yes. Yeah.
I really like Meryl's game, and it's such a shame she didn't see this coming, because she had so many options to protect herself coming into this tribal. But yeah, everything about up until this point, I think she played really well. Like you say, giving Tejan the reward. It doesn't do anything for her to keep it. Like it's leverage and it's trust in someone else. She really plays it well. And Marian is pissed after the last tribal council, saying, "Well done, you've handed her final 5," because Meryl just has advantages out the arse.
Yeah. I mean, she recovers fabulously, because then she's able to get them to take Meryl out at 8. So right after.
Yeah, and speaking of Meryl, Dino has this quote: "Killarney is trying to bring me in on a Meryl move that she's 18 hours late for."
Oh, it's so good.
I feel so bad for her. It's like she's getting razzed hard.
The Killarney roasts in this season, yeah.
Yeah, I think this is an even more brutal edit than the Simon edit, because like Simon's was at least still fun. Mm-hmm. This is she just gets dogged on the entire way through the season. It's brutal.
Yeah. There's always, unfortunately, that one person who will get dogged on every single season.
Ryan Neoway.
Yeah.
Every time he plays. This is also Marian and Dino have a heart-to-heart on the beach, where Dino shares his advantage and says, "This is me putting my money where my mouth is." And it's the start of this idea that they want a strong ambassador to win this game, and not wanting to just take a go to the end, wanting this to be a season of big players actually representing the season, which I love, and that's how I'd like to think I would want to play if I ever did.
Same.
Yeah. Yep. The immunity challenge.
This is with the key maze and then the
Yes.
puzzle, the four-sided puzzle, which Marian will be getting a pop-up soon of this, because Marian wins and she comes from behind and barely beats Tejan. Tejan just misses out just again. He has the worst luck.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't remember if he won an immunity in his original season, but he just keeps missing out in this one. So.
It's a hell of a comeback for Marian. It's kind of like that Wayne Brains versus Brawns, or like Chaos Cast.
Yes, Cast, yes.
Like, this big, like, crazy from behind victory and an emotional win. Yeah, and especially like where it's like not someone you might think would be a big challenge player, and she just comes out and smashes it and gets the immunity. Like, so good.
And plus the boxes were so big, and she's not that tall, so she had to like really put the top one on, because she only gets one go probably.
Yeah. I think the biggest comebacks this cast, Noelle and 43 was a pretty big one too.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah, so those are some pretty good challenge comebacks. That could be another podcast topic as well at some point, but who knows?
I think we have enough. We have enough.
Yeah, we do have enough.
We have like 8 things.
That's true.
In the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, for those people who thought that we had no content after this, you're going to be pretty wrong.
As Nicole from Immunity Island said, we are coming for you, motherfuckers.
Yeah, exactly. All right, anything before the tribal council?
I mean, I think we just go to the tribal, because everything that I have is about what happens at tribal. Because Meryl wants to use the tribal council pass on Marian, and then Marian is like, I'm going to give up the immunity.
Yes, yep. This is pretty huge. So Marian gives the immunity to Shane, which makes sense. And Marian gets the tribal council pass, and Meryl is voted out.
What do you guys think about Marian being able to give up immunity after the pass is used on her? Because this is like a little technical thing where it's like she should automatically just have to leave, but she gets the chance to save Shane now.
So
I don't mind because it was a great blindside, but just like from a rules standpoint, it's like I could see like she shouldn't be allowed to do that.
Well, so was this done before everybody had voted, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she played the tribal pass before the votes. Okay,
that's what I thought. So to me, I don't have a problem with that because, everybody hadn't voted yet either. So, I
just meant because she's supposed to leave.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, just one more thing. And she pulls a Columbo and just gives up the necklace.
And honestly, I just don't think it's something it even considered. Like, she just asked the question, and Nico's kind of like, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. It made it, a little more interesting. So, as long as it isn't like before the votes are read, then I don't.
Definitely.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't fill me with rage as much as the, passing on an idol or an advantage after being eliminated.
Yeah, and I say that as someone who actually, unfortunately, allowed that to happen, but it may in one of my seasons with JJ, but it allowed for that tribal council to be.
No wonder why you're a Chappie's fan, because Chappie's got an advantage that way too.
Yeah, true.
Tribal council. Speaking of tribal council passes.
Yeah. All right, so Meryl gets blindsided, and it's another one of those instances where we get these back-to-back blindsides of these really big players. And I do love these situations in these seasons where like you have two people that are front runners to maybe win, and then they just are both out of the game. Like
dug into Nuka.
Yeah, dug into Nuka as well. Josh and Jeremy and San Juan del Sur. Yeah, they're always interesting.
And I think Meryl seems kind of it's easy to put the blame on her. I think it's also a really good social play
Oh, yeah.
by Phil, Dino, and that side of things to really make her feel like she didn't need to. Phil has a great confessional where he says, "I'm gonna feel so shit after this, man. She voted herself out."
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then also Felix was a big part of this move. I don't know if it was on the show, but after talking to Dino and Phil, they made sure to give credit to Felix because he was a major part of pulling this off.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not surprised either. So
Yeah. So Meryl gets voted out. Then in her confessional, she flips the coin and it lands on safe. It's like, oh man.
Oh
I
my.
wouldn't even flip it.
I'd be so mad.
I would not want to flip. I'd be like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just unfortunate. All right. Well, from 4 non-cliffhangers to a cliffhanger, unfortunately, we must talk about 17 and very much hate that this was a thing. So, at this point. So, but
Which one is this?
Oh, this
This
is where they end on the cliffhanger between Phil and Felix on the left.
Oh, okay.
To the left. Yeah, but before we get there, we start off with Killarney is mad that the Meryl move was taken away from her. And then it just cuts to Phil giving like a shocked, stuttering confessional as he's like, "Wait, what?
Mhm.
Just not her reads are not on point.
Nope. Is this the episode where you get Phil going around like a crazy man for this idol, or is that?
Oh no, that's I think I think that's episode 19. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was just yeah.
Because this is where Felix goes, I know there's a massive endurance challenge, which means I'll be out in 5 minutes and sit in the sun watching everyone else do the challenge. So I like how he's like that. This is also where we get Clarnell's emotional backstory about her.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, I felt so bad for her.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, man, heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, anything else? Are we ready? I guess we can just like group the end.
Well,
of
there
17.
is the reward challenge. Where Tej comes up with a new staff. He says, "This is my staff of power to summon the survivor gods, and that the balance of power now lies in my hands."
I got so much coach vibes from this.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, same.
He went full coach.
yeah.
Yeah. And then Phil ends up winning because it's the stacking challenge. And then this is where he gets the option of the reward by himself, or to take 2 people who can talk to the loved ones, but they don't get food. And then Tejan just cashes in that point.
Yeah.
I did love Shane in this challenge where Nico's doing the usual food for the belly and food for the soul, and Shane just says, "My loved ones are fine. Bring me the char and the advantage. Let's go."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then after Phil wins, Felix is surprised because he's got he is not surprised Phil won because he's got the feet the size of my kid.
I don't even know what that means, but
it just means Phil has small feet.
Well, yeah, that's funny. Yeah. So, we're gonna get to the immunity challenge as well, and that we're gonna lead right into 18. So
yeah, a big advantage. They get to sit out for 5 minutes. Like that's huge.
They did this in I think Australian Survivor 2016, with the doghouse challenge I think too. So
that's a little bit different. This is like tougher.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's standing on your tippy toes with the block on your head. They wedged in between. Yeah,
and it doesn't even matter for Tejan because he only lasts like 5 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, and he can't believe it. So
he cannot believe it.
Yeah, as he just keeps trying to do it, as he's like, "What the hell just happened?" And then Shane goes, "It went to your head." I was like, "Oh, that's funny."
Yeah,
he was able to deadpan that really quick.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I guess we'll lead right into episode 18, where Phil ends up winning this against Felix, right?
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, one fun confessional just before we go into 18. Marian say she needs Felix to go home so Philip can come back into my arms and play with me. I'd rather stick with the devil I know because I can tell when he's lying. It's such a good read by Marian. It's like it's so brutal in this end game where Phil is just he has no idea that Marian and Dino are working against him because they have such good bonds with him and relationships with him. And that's like the absolute top tier social play. And why either Marian or Dino would have won this season. Like Marian 100% wins at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anything else here in between the immunity challenge? Because the rest of this episode is just strategizing for tribal.
This is the idol. This is the comical idol episode.
Oh, I thought that was 19. Sorry.
Oh wait, is it? Hold on.
Um,
Yeah, you're right. Damn it. I think.
Yeah, these last kind of episodes are just wild.
It
blend
blurs,
together.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no. It is this episode because
Okay.
Felix spots a symbol on the rock, and then Phil immediately grabs it. And then he's confused about what this means. I don't know what this means. There's an idol back at camp somewhere in the middle. It's like, Phil, it's in the middle of the fucking stairway. Even I can figure that out.
Yeah.
He has like 4 confessionals split up over across 20 minutes of him just rereading this clue and being like, I don't know where it is. And there's a fantastic moment where Phil is digging for the idol and Dino comes up behind him and just starts digging behind Phil. And then Felix comes down the path, sees Phil and Dino digging, and just turns and walks and runs the other way.
Yeah.
This whole episode is just a calamity of errors. It's so it's a weird episode of Survivor.
Yeah. My funniest thing is I'm watching on speed up, or like on 1.5 speed. So I'm watching it.
Put the Keystone Cops music.
I was singing Benny Hill.
Oh, Benny Hill. Yeah.
I'm watching Phil like walk up behind what is it, like Tajan and Killarney or something, and then like he turns around and goes up the hill. So I'm watching him like fast speed up the hill, and I'm just like I was laughing. So
Yeah, and then there's moments where Marian knows that Phil is. So Marian is talking to Phil about who had told about Dino the clue about the idol, and then Phil lies, and then Marian just deadpans to the camera, and she's just like, as she knows Phil's lying. And then there's another fun moment where Marian and Phil are talking about. So how do you feel about tomorrow? And Phil goes, I feel safe, as he has the necklace.
And it just gets worse for him as well. So Phil comes to Dino eventually. Now, everyone already knows about Phil's idol clue at this point. So Phil shows Dino the idol clue because he genuinely can't find it and he's trying to get help. And now Dino thinks he's already found it and he's showing him the clue to try and build trust with him. It's like, no, he's actually trying to get your help.
yeah.
It was so good.
So yeah, are we ready to hit another tribal? Isn't this also where like Tajan tries to do like a fake out with the idol?
Which is simple because as Michael complained, it's just a rock with an engraving.
He does a really good job.
Yeah.
Is it him that carves the carves it in? Yeah. It's really believable.
Yeah. Well, so we're gonna get to tribal, and when Tajan goes up to play it, he does the little look behind.
So good.
Plays the idol. Obviously, it's a fake, and so Tajan is voted out 4-3.
Yeah, and people actually flipped their votes onto him because he had this idol, so they went to flush it.
Yeah, so Tajan accidentally just got himself voted out over Felix.
Felix's reaction when the last votation comes in, where he just screams at the top of his lungs, and I was so shocked. I was 100% sure Felix was going home. You don't really get blindsided as a viewer that much in Survivor because the edit leads you down the path and you know which way it's going. I completely thought Felix was going home. I was so happy that he stayed. I was rooting for Felix at this point, even though I know that Dino wins the season.
Right. Yeah, it was funny. Like this whole tribal council was funny. And yeah, Tajan finishes in 7th place for the second time. So,
as he leaves, he shouts, "Now I can eat."
Yeah, that was good. I liked Asian. Like
Yeah,
I was
same.
happy,
Yeah,
and I was so happy he came back. Um, being the only season 4 person and like representing, I guess, that like old part of Survivor South Africa. So
yeah, like their version of old school, but it's
yeah,
in such a short space of time. Yeah, a
yeah,
short span of seasons, I should say.
Well, 10 years. I mean,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
South Africa takes so long to do
right.
seasons.
So in 10 seasons, 10 years, we'll get another season. That's what I'm hearing.
Okay, well, hopefully, let's freaking go.
Let's hope. All right. So Tajan's gone and we're at the final 6 and 19 is another cliffhanger episode, right?
Hmm.
Can we just take a second there? We're at the final 6. What
Yeah,
episode did you say we were on, Jake?
19.
Yeah, I know.
19 of 24, and we were at the final 6.
Yeah.
That is, it's mad.
Yeah, it really kills the momentum of the season.
Right.
Especially when, we talked about when Felix goes, like, man, it was so badly paced. We've talked about it enough, but it still blows my mind that, final 6 with 5 episodes, including this one, to go it's just insane. I don't know what they were thinking. No matter what explanation you want to give, Matt, it doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, they didn't really have much choice because it was either that or cut it down to 12 episodes. It's like that would be even harder. I don't know, man. I hate episodes that have multiple tribals. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been a mess with 20-person season with 12
Yep.
episodes.
It just would have been nice if they would have just kept it at 18 like they ordered.
Yeah.
Imagine they just cut out people from the edit, where they cut out like 6 tribals, and you just don't see.
You just
That
jump
would be
ahead.
cruel. I'm not suggesting that, but imagine.
Yeah, I think actually thinking on it, I think which explains why it was such a mess of a season, but I think Survivor Game Changers actually was 12 episodes and it was 20 people because they did like 2 episodes in one for like 3 different episodes in that season. It was bad. Um, all right, yeah. What goes on in episode 19?
Not that much.
Phil tries to just say that he made a mistake. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you're not going to get a lie past Marian and Dino like that. It's like,
Right.
come on, you're better off just owning it at this point.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then there's a challenge where they're divided into 3 pairs for a spa day, and then Phil and Felix win. Phil goes, I actually wanted to give that away. And Felix goes, fuck, you can give your part.
Yeah, their spa day was interesting.
But Phil is very angry at Felix because he was, blowing up a tribal council and fighting for his life, and saying, Dino's the paranoid one. It doesn't look good on you. Don't do that again. But Felix is right. He was in danger, and Phil has this misread that they're cool, and Felix's read on the situation was completely right, and he was doing what he had to do to save his life. It ended up being, a misplay by Tajan that's saved Felix at that tribal. But I just think at this point, Phil's game just starts to completely fall apart, where he doesn't have an accurate read on like where these relationships are.
Yeah. Anything else?
Marian looks through Phil's bag while he's at spa day and finds the idol that he got in the voting urn, but nobody knows what it is because it looks so different, which I thought was a nice little twist. Because everybody's like, what does this do that the other idols don't do?
Right. All right. Well, I think we can head to episode 20 and actually close out the final 6.
Yeah, because this ends on the cliffhanger of Dino goes to the outpost, and it starts off with, he just goes there and then he starts playing the video.
Yes, at the save the date. Yep.
Well, but while we're on it, let me show the other stuff I got.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got the bag from the save the date thing, and then I got the little "you may take the fruit back to the tribe," and he tells a funny story about this, which we will talk to him about while he's on the interview. It was a 1-man joke. Then it became a 2-man joke, and now it will become a 4-man joke.
Awesome. All right. So yeah, this is the Felix boot episode. So this is also where Phil is gonna end up playing his idol for himself, right? And so anything else happen in the lead up to that?
I do like that Dino tells Phil that he got to practice the immunity challenge, and it would be so funny if the immunity challenge was something that couldn't possibly be practiced at the outpost, and everyone's like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
Well, and then they also gave up the good moment where the tree mill comes and Phil's like, "Well, if Dino knows what the challenge is, so Dino, what do you think this means?" And then Dino's like, "I don't know."
Yep. Yep. So, the immunity challenge, is this another Dino win or
Phil
This is
win.
the Phil win. This is the throw the ball into the chute, catch it, and then you do
Oh, yeah.
the easy ball puzzle.
Yes, now I remember. Yep, because yeah, Phil, everyone thought Dino was going to win this, but Phil ended up pulling it out.
And Nico roasts Dino, where he says, "Dino, puzzle master," and Dino says, "Challenge fraud."
Yeah. Yeah, so Phil, when does Phil play his idol again? It was it not till next episode then at Final Five? But no, I thought Phil won.
Yeah, he plays it here. He plays it for Dino.
He plays it here. Yeah.
Oh, plays over Dino. Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
he
he
says
should have
he
played
would.
it for Felix, but he
Oh, I
doesn't.
thought he said he was going to play for Dino, but he never did.
No,
Oh,
he does. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
He plays it. He plays it for Dino because Dino's concerned that he's going to play his idol for Phil, and that Phil has the right read that they're coming for him, and he's going to try and protect Felix, which he should have done. But no,
yeah.
Dino and Marian's bond with him is so good that he doesn't see that coming. I think if he plays this with Felix here, it completely changes the game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, Felix is going to end up going, and I think we've sang Felix's praises. He definitely gets the most improved player award of the season. I mean, we don't have that award, but like,
we do now.
yeah,
Congrats, Felix.
yeah. So, but I was very happy with Felix's performance on the return, and I actually wouldn't mind seeing him a third time, but.
Yeah. So a couple more things on this episode. This is also where Marian pretends she's got an idol nullifier.
Yeah.
And when Marian talks about her idol nullifier at tribal council, Dante gets so excited on the jury bench. He like jumps up. He's so thrilled to see something crazy happening, and it turns out it's just a bluff.
Yeah.
And this is also where we get Dante talking from the jury bench, telling I don't know who he's specifically speaking to. He's asking them to get Dino out, right?
Yeah. Probably everybody. Everybody besides Dino.
And like, don't do that.
Yeah.
It's completely against the rules.
Yeah. I don't know. Production, like, I'm sure he got a stern talking to from production, but
I would hope so.
yeah.
And then Dante's like, "What are you guys going to do? This show is going to get canceled."
Oh, jeez. All right. Well, heading to episode 21 and a very weird episode because we got a tribal council halfway through to end on another cliffhanger. Oh my. This is very interesting and we're gonna end up losing Killarney here.
It's so fitting that Kalani's been painted as such a goat out the entire season that her boot doesn't even warrant the end of the episode.
Yeah, I feel bad for her.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. So that Final Five immunity, Phil wins again. And that one was
Well, hold on. Well, first off, they have to do the Lotto Star word puzzle for an advantage.
Oh yeah.
And then Shane gets it, and this is when it is 4-on-1, and Phil still wins.
And it doesn't seem like Phil has any idea. It's like they're all working against him, and he still smashes it out. I was rooting for Phil at this point.
Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, sorry. No.
I was just going to ask anything else.
Oh, This is where Marian is going to try to imitate Dino's handwriting and claim that somebody stole her vote.
Yes,
So that Phil wouldn't assume that he's completely on the outs. But damn, Marian, what a baller move!
So smart.
So good.
Yeah. Very,
I
very
love that
intelligent.
I love that this season Marian and Dino both have these really fun players where they're just like 1 and 1A with each other all the way through. Because also Dino's plan is to starve Phil strategically because there is a chance Phil is going to immunity win his way to final tribal, and he needs to show that his game is flawed and that he's played a good physical game, but Dino's game is better in the end. So he's purposely leaving him out of all conversations, so his vote is irrelevant at this tribal council.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But the odds of winning it out on immunity is what, 6.25% chance? That's a Survivor 47 joke.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were doing Steiner math.
I understood that reference.
No, if it was Steiner math, then I would say you have to throw in Killarney, and then that has.
So yeah, it is a 3-2 vote for Killarney. The shot really should have been taken at Dino here instead. At least for Marian. I mean, and Shane, but yeah, but they don't do it, and Killarney is 5th place. So
it's also tricky because I don't know if Marian has a path to the end. Like, Marian's a player that can't really afford to lose big threats in the game.
Well, that's true. That's true.
I mean, her path is so cloudy anyway. Yeah. And if you lose a Dino, then
if she takes out Dino, if she takes out Dino, then Phil probably wins, and then Marian's gone.
That's true. I realize that now.
See, that's why we talked this out.
It's a difficult game, there's no right or wrong answer. I think for like Shane and Killarney for sure.
Oh yeah.
Take out Dino.
Yeah, for Shane, yeah. Because I mean, I don't know. Unfortunately, I feel like at this point, like obviously Killarney's like the only person Shane can really beat in this Final Four. So or Final Five, but by the time he gets to Final Four, Shane's really like a dead man walking. So
not in his mind.
Yeah, not in his mind, but all right, yeah, so episode 22, and this is where we are about to lose Phil. We do get that 2v2 for the safari as well as at the end of the last episode.
Which it was heartbreaking seeing them take the rhino's
I know.
Off. And then they even showed it with the chainsaw. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I was like, wow, this is helping the rhino. Like I was just.
Well, it makes sense because now they won't be killed for it. But
right. I see. Yeah.
Did they show it getting cut off?
Yes, the chainsaw. Yeah.
Yeah.
The episode I watched did not.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
so that's interesting. I don't know what edit I was watching, but yeah, on mine it showed you them with the chainsaw, but it just cut away. Because I was thinking, they're not going to show that, obviously.
Yeah, that's
kind of crazy. I wonder what my edit was.
Yeah, that was sad. But yeah, as long as it helps the rhino not get hunted, then
it makes sense. But I just felt so bad for it.
Yeah. And then we get to the Final Four immunity challenge. This is where Shane wins, correct?
Yeah. Well, with the 47 puzzle pieces, I was like, oh, that is a lot.
Yeah.
And it took over 90 minutes. And also, it was cool that Shane and Marian got to fly in on the helicopter. I mean, that's kind of badass.
Yeah. I still think the most badass helicopter flying is probably Kageon with the brains.
Oh, I was going to say heroes versus villains.
Sorry. I was not thinking heroes versus villains. I was thinking brains, Ron Beauty, and then heroes versus villains with the giant choppers. Yeah, my bad.
What about Sandra and Nina coming in on Blood versus Water?
You mean Oprah?
Yeah.
Oprah.
Yeah. All right. So Shane's gonna win, and then Phil has no more hope left, and Phil is voted out.
It was easy. Yeah, there's not really much to talk about because it was obvious. Like he's the one who has to go.
Yeah.
I do really like that Phil and Dino have this friendship moment of shaking hands and saying we're going to write each other's name down, and may the best man win. Essentially, it's like it was a nice closure to that season-long friendship.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep. I mean, anything else to say on Phil? I liked Phil this time. Again, got to show way more of his humor and like
He's hilarious.
Yeah, he's great, and like he got to really show himself to be great in challenges, and yeah, I'm interested to talk to him about his game. So
Phil was so much fun. Like, he was someone I'm so glad I discovered along with Marian. And on this episode, before we move on, this tribal council, Phil was talking about people thinking she could get the sympathy vote that Dino mentioned, and Marian goes in on this and says, she's played a hell of a game, and if I sit in front of the jury, my skin will not be a factor in winning this game, which is so true. She has played the best game, and if she gets to the end, that is why she will win.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I love that she was able to say this, and yeah, because I would have voted for her too off of gameplay because it was very incredible to watch.
Oh, yeah. Same.
So
it was either her or Galarni. I would vote for either of them. No, I would actually vote for Marian. Sorry, Galarni. You are nice, but it's like the show did not show it.
Yeah. All right. So goodbye, Phil, and we get to our last two episodes. So episode 23, we obviously get the final challenge. This is the final challenge from Survivor Fiji, with the.
That's what I had in my notes. The Fiji final challenge.
Yeah, and so the loved ones also come out. So what is it? Shane's wife.
Shane's friend.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking his wife came later. Sorry, his friend did come. Shane's friend.
Dino's fiance, the now wife.
Marian's mom.
Marian's mom. Yeah, and Dino talks about how he ruined this for production because they were all supposed to look over there, but then like Dino heard something behind him and he turns around and then he screams out. So then they all turn around.
Yeah, that's funny. And then we get like the all-time best like challenge win reaction of Dino.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just like slamming the wire. I don't blame him. I was like, because he knows that he won the game.
Yeah, at that point, yeah. That's like every super fan's dream right there. So yeah, and so then Dino's going to tell Marian that he has to vote her out because she's going to win the game. So
100% heartbreaking. I cried again watching it. Just seeing her cry, knowing it's like, oh man.
It sucks. It very much sucks because, Dino knows he has to do it, and he doesn't want to crush her dreams at all, but
and it's funny in Survivor how like it's not a scripted show, but sometimes these things come together in such a perfect way that it could almost seem like it was, where it's Dino having his conversation with his fiance, his number one in real life, and then saying, I have to choose that, and talking to his number one in the game, and it being this emotional thing that he has to do, and he knows he does. But yeah, it's very emotional, and for Marian to be the fallen angel is kind of fitting in a way. Fallen angel is, a good position, not particularly for the players, but for, a super fan, she's a fitting fallen angel.
Yeah. We've had some great fallen angels. That's another topic at some point I actually do want to do, is ranking like fallen angels, because I don't think anybody has really done too much of that.
Letitia.
Yeah, Letitia. Yeah, the greatest fallen angel.
Going back, Michael, he reminded me that I did like how the players were able to talk to their loved ones after the challenge. I thought that was like a nice little fun thing. But yeah, and then as Dino says, as the game has been, we have taken out threats to our game. Why does that have to end now? And then he also says, I'm a brave guy. I jump out of airplanes, but I'm not a stupid one. I jump with a parachute. It's like it makes perfect sense why you have to take out Marian.
Yeah. All right. Well, unfortunately, Marian is the fallen angel, and now we move to our finale, which ends up being just final tribal council and the reunion, which is interesting.
Final tribal council starts in episode 23.
Well, yeah, it does start there.
Yeah, it starts there and continues in 24. It's so weird to have Final
Yeah.
Tribal split across 2 episodes.
Yeah, I actually don't mind it being split over 2 episodes. I would have liked it to have been split before they start talking, instead of
Yeah.
starting with the opening statements and then cutting it. It's like, oh, so I have to tune into next episode to see what they say.
Yeah, and then the preview made it seem like Steffi was going to be super bitter.
Yeah.
It was like, what the heck? Yeah, so I mean, this was a great final tribal council for a couple of reasons. I mean, Dino and Shane, like, I don't know, just like how they were able to speak about like their lives and games. I thought that was really interesting. And how Shane, his whole strategy last time changed this time because of his daughter, and like, right, that's what he said, is like his daughter told him,
Yeah, and then we didn't get to see much of his game, and he knew that going in, because when I talked with him, he knew that he was playing a game that isn't flashy for the cameras, but he knew he was going to get a pretty bad edit.
Yeah.
Which it got to the end, so you can't complain, but still.
Right. And then Dino's thing of like his Dino demeanor that comes up, and like the emotional thing of like trying to play the game and still be a good person. And
so I have a lot of quotes about that. It breaks my heart to see the devastation I brought to your world. I was like, ooh, that one really fucking hurt.
Yeah.
And then it makes me scared to ever put myself again, quite frankly. Like, that sucks for Dino. And then, I'm sorry, but I can't be sorry for sitting here and giving myself the best chance for a life-changing event for myself and my fiance. And it's like, you can't really blame him.
Right. I don't like, yeah.
Oh, really? Because in our chat, you were blaming him so hard.
Was I? What?
I'm joking.
No. No, yeah, I mean, off of this, just based off of gameplay, I mean, Shane gave like a good emotional responses of like why he played the game a certain way, like I said, but it was just like, for me, it was a no-brainer. Like, I would have voted for Dino.
Yeah. I do like how Shane throws his family under the bus. How like everybody got to see their loved ones, and he goes, "Of course, my family can't come because they're all conspiracy theorists and won't get the vaccine."
That was so funny. Oh my God! And then his wife does come.
Yeah. Because this was in 2020. This was filmed in early 2022. So yeah.
Right.
Just,
yeah, that was funny. Yeah, so I mean, Dino wins what, 7-2, and who were Shane's votes? Was it?
It was Steffi and Killarney.
Killarney did not look happy.
Yeah, that's shocked, because Tajon almost was gonna vote for Shane, and then
but then I think because of what Tajon's question was about how he wanted empathy to go on the reward. Mm-hmm. And then Dino was able to spend, well, all these people gave up stuff to help the tribe, so they should have gone before you.
Right.
So maybe that is what swayed it.
Yeah. Well, but yeah, that makes sense. I guess the votes that Shane got. I mean, Marian could have voted that way too, but obviously she was going to vote for the best game, and so.
Yeah, this is what may have broken up their friendship. So I don't, because they're not as close anymore, which sucks.
That's unfortunate.
Marian.
Shane and Marian, yeah. They were very close but, it does.
We also get a rival for Philip Shepard for craziest final tribal outfit, with Shane coming in looking like Bobby Heenan at WrestleMania 9.
Wow, did you have that one written down, or did you just come up with that?
You know what? I had that written down for the first time he wears a toga 10 episodes ago, and I couldn't fit it in, so I was like, I'm going to save it for Final Tribal.
That's pretty good. All I just needed was Shane to be riding a camel backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jake doesn't get these references. But yeah, so Dino wins, and then we get the reunion show, which is what I want American Survivor to do. Wait a day, give them time to, digest everything, and then do the reunion.
Yeah, that was That was definitely a good thing that I noticed. I did watch it on my first watch of the season, but I didn't watch it this time. But
If you
yeah,
don't have, since you may not have any notes, Michael, do you have any notes? Because I have a bunch of notes on the reunion, just like fun
yeah, go
quotes.
for it, guys.
I just have one, and that's Nico giving Chappie some sweets
You see
because he doesn't want him to steal from the other contestants.
Oh my God,
which
that's
was fun.
amazing.
That's right. And then Chappie's even offers Teshin some too.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Chappies gives a great quote when he was asked about what it was like to be the first one out. How can you tell people it's okay to fall down if you don't do it often yourself? Damn it, Chappies, you're such a nice guy.
I know. I that's amazing.
Let's see here. Tevin, you experience the aisle feels so light, but when you walk around around with it, but then when you walk out, it feels so heavy. And Tevin's like, yeah. Tevin goes, well, it was an excellent blindside, and then Dino immediately goes, you are welcome. Then Seamus gives his fake idol. He asks, is this still valid? And then Tevin says, you can trade it with mine. And Nico goes, well, they're both not valid anymore. And then Tevin goes, because they ask him about all those food, and then he goes, all those cravings immediately disappeared after my first ponder roasted meal. Now I wish I was back in the game.
Yeah. No, this was a good idea. I definitely wish this was the case over, what the new era does.
Yeah, just wait one day. It's not that hard, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Michael, you got anything on the reunion, or we good to hit? All right.
Let's go.
Okay. Oops, I did not put down the awards. I just wrote down the we know what they are, right? Favorite player of the season. This is definitely tough. Because I shouldn't say Chappies because he's first out.
Yeah, if you say Chappies, this award, it does not matter.
Yeah,
you lose all credibility.
No, I'll probably say Dino. I really liked his story and like being a super fan, and that's for me. I can connect to that because that's honestly how I felt about winning Vanquish, my first season. So
okay, rub it in our faces. Okay, Michael.
I think I know who Matt's going to pick. You know what? I think we've already said Felix most improved player, so I'd like to give him a shout out. But I'm going to go with Phil just because Phil made me laugh so much throughout this season. He was such a ray of sunshine, and I just loved watching him play. The challenge beast with the dad bod, as he said. I thought Phil was just so much fun.
Yeah.
Sorry, that reminded me from when I talked with him. I asked him what it was like to come back, and everybody, he's like, "Well, nobody knew who I was, and they thought I was somebody who ate the Phil from season 5." But since you guys already picked Dino and Phil, let me just put in the third pillar of the season, Marian. Who, as Dino said, should now be referred to as Queen Marian, and I agree.
Yeah.
I would argue she goes down as the best South African Survivor player, even though she had never won.
Yeah, I can see that.
I would have picked Marian, but I knew she'd get it.
I knew that. Because I always like to cover all of her bases. And it's funny that we picked the 3 people who will be coming on to talk with us.
Yay!
Look at that. That was actually not deliberate.
And we didn't even plan that.
Yeah. All right. Least favorite player. So this is going to be very, very interesting.
Chappies, because he was the first one out. No. I just tried to make Jake mad.
Yeah.
That's my only goal here, guys. I'll say mine if you guys don't have any.
No, I'm gonna say Pinty.
That's exactly who I was gonna go, Pinty.
Yeah, I feel bad. I just don't like her as a player.
Yeah, nobody else really did anything that was like.
No.
Even though Killarney got like a bad edit, she was actually trying. So.
Yeah, and I don't want to roast her any more than we already have.
Yeah. Just like Mnet did for 24 episodes or 21 episodes.
Yeah. And then we had best move of the season, right?
Yep.
So I definitely am going to say the Steffi blindside. Like, I think that was just incredible move, and yeah, I don't, and it set the tone for the rest of the game to play out. So
Yeah, I mean, the Steffi blindside was great. I think is this the first time 2 seasons in a row our best move of the season is the same person being bored out? Or did we do Steffi in the last one?
One of us did. At least
maybe
one
I
of us
did. Yeah,
yeah. At least one of us did.
I think Steffi's got a history. She just has the best blindsides for sure.
yeah.
Oh, is that you picking?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Oh man, I wanted to pick her too, but now I may have to go Meryl. No,
That's good too.
No, as I said, for the Chizzy, and now it's for the Knoll. I'm also picking Steffi. I'm giving the points to the Steffi blindside.
For the Knoll.
All right. What was there one more before we hit the rankings?
We did Lee's favorite move. I don't know. I can't remember. You're the one who
think that was it.
Yeah, I gotta.
We usually only do 3. Oh, and then maybe like if anybody would return, but this is a return.
Oh yeah. That was the other one. Yep. Okay, cool. Let me pull up. All right.
This is gonna be it.
Yep. All right.
I'm very interested in what you guys are going to say here.
Yeah, so winner rankings, Dino Paulo, but this is where they stand right now. The Golden God, number 1. Ferris, number 2. Robin Telle, number 3. Mark Wales, Haley Leak, Pia Miranda, Nicole Wilmans, Liz Parnov, Matthew Haywood, Jericho Malabonga rounding out the top 10. Then Christy Bennett, Shane Gold, and Tom Swartz in the bottom 3. So Dino, oh boy, I think he should be a top 5 winner. He won an all-star season of this. I think that he really obviously corrected everything that he had wrong the first time, and people did want to take him out, but he kept having all these allies that wanted to keep him to save him, and that speaks to how good of a social game he had, despite having that target on his back. And so, I mean, if I'm looking at it, see, then I'm gonna have to knock out like the bottom of the top 5.
Haley's getting knocked out no matter what.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably put him above Haley, and then I mean I can hear your guys' arguments. If you want to argue for him to be above Mark, I can certainly hear that out.
I'm fucking gonna argue that.
Yeah.
See, I thought I was going to be in a position here where you guys were going to be like number 1, and I'm like, I don't think it's a stronger game than David or Rob. I think they absolutely dominated the season. Ferris was someone who played a very big game in a season of kind of, it wasn't an all-star season, but it kind of felt like an all-star season. I feel like I'm on Jake's wavelength in the Haley placement.
Below Mark?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Mark only played against 3 players.
Well, why did you put him so high in the first place?
You guys did. I wanted him lower, motherfucker.
So when I came into it, I was looking at it like a Haley placement, but I thought that you were both going to be much higher than that. Which is still like Haley's one of the greatest winners of all time. That's still good.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a way to skew it down. Because if I put him at number 1, what would the average out to?
Yeah.
No, I'll just be honest. What I was going to say, number 2, because I think he played a better game than Ferris. They basically played the exact same game, but Dino did it against All Stars. I almost would argue he is better than David, because David took a shit ton of goats to the end.
That's
whereas where Dino had to outlast good players. So yeah, that's where I'm going.
Yeah, I can totally see that. I mean, David took out Moana at the end, and Dino took out Marian, who was a much better
there's also
player.
Tarzan. Yeah. I mean, David and Dino each had to outlast the challenge beast, but Marian was going to win the season.
Oh yeah,
Dino made it,
and Moana was not.
Yeah, I mean, but David was in that position because he got himself into the position to be able to do that.
Yeah, but I'll still go Dino too, because I think he played a better game than Ferris.
This is why I think our love for Ferris maybe could blind you a little bit, because I I could see the argument for Ferris, but I don't see putting him above Rob. I think Rob is Ferris 2 and Rob 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, to me, if that was flipped, I could see that argument more, but I can't see putting Dino above Rob because Rob absolutely destroyed that season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he had to win a shit ton of immunities to be safe. That also.
Yeah.
I'm also factoring
He really didn't.
He won 5.
Yeah, he won 5. He didn't need to win 5.
And as we talked to Nicole, Nicole wanted to take him out whenever he wasn't safe, but he was always safe because of the immunities.
I don't think well, again, this is where it's tricky, where you've got the player's name, you've got the edit that we've seen. I never saw anything in the edit where Rob was really in danger if he didn't have that immunity. But I don't know. That's my take on it.
I'll still go 2 because then it averages out to 4. So
yeah, so it would
be if you get to him at 5. You put him at 5 and I put him at 2.
Yeah,
so 12 divided by 3 is 4.
So he's below Rob Bentley and above Mark Wales.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to say again, just so we're clear, this isn't a bad placement. All of these, this top 5 is stacked great winners. So
yeah, top 6 really with Haley. Yeah.
Yeah, and 2 of the top 4, 2 of the top 3, 2 of the top 3 are going to be on Australia versus the world. So
very true. Yeah.
Yep. Dino, I tried, man. I tried, but they just won't listen.
I love Dino as a winner.
I love Dino too.
Dino, I'm going to cancel the interview now just to protect you from these 2.
Oh, jeez. Oh boy!
I didn't put him down with Tom.
Yeah, we didn't we didn't argue for 14.
No, I do agree, and even Dino would be like, yeah, I probably shouldn't even be this high. So, but yeah, I think he's in the right spot. I definitely think he should be above Mark.
Yeah,
only playing against really 3 players the entire season is not that impressive.
Yeah, that's very fair. I mean, again, Dino was always going to crack the top 5 going into this, even before we started discussing the episodes.
And that's why I kept trying to get women in the top 5 throughout the entire thing. So I was like, I know if we don't put one up high enough, they are going to get knocked out.
Right? Yeah.
It just Haley. It so sucks that Haley was voted out of the game.
Yes.
And I think Haley's an absolute top tier winner, but it does dampen it when she was voted out of the game.
Yeah. If that hadn't have happened, Haley would probably be higher. So
100%.
Way different. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because she beat George too.
Exactly.
Which is really impressive.
Yeah. All right. Return of the Outcasts. So this is where the top 13 international seasons stand. We have Titans versus Rebels in the top spot, followed by AU Heroes versus Villains, Champions versus Contenders 2, Immunity Island, 2017, Brains versus Brawn, Philippines, All-Stars, 2016, Champs versus Contenders 1, that's the top 10, and then Survivor UK, then Island of Secrets, then Blood versus Water, and last. So I think this is a top 5 season, but we've talked about how the formatting, unfortunately, it very much hurt the season. So I honestly, personally, I think Immunity Island is still my favorite South Africa season just because the formatting made it better and also because I love Chappies. But
okay, I was not saying you better mention Chap.
I'll acknowledge the bias there, but this is still a great season. I
love Nicole.
Yes, and you love Nicole. So I'm gonna say this is above 2017, below Immunity Island, so it'd be number 5. So that's personally where I would put it.
Sorry, above which one? Sorry.
Above 2017, below Immunity Island.
I don't know what you're thinking, Matt, but this season was a slog for me. I really enjoyed. It had high highs, and I think the players were fantastic. But I think more than any season I've watched, the way the season was put together really was to its detriment.
Mm-hmm.
And especially the end game, the last 7 episodes, there was so much.
After Felix goes, we talked about this. It's just
Mm-hmm.
So I'd agree. I think of South Africa, I enjoyed Immunity Island more. and I'd happily slot it in behind that because gameplay wise, I think it's fantastic, and I think the returning players were great, and so many of them delivered, especially Felix, who over delivered.
Yeah.
And Phil.
But
Phil, yeah.
Format wise, it fell apart for me.
What's that 3 and 4 right now?
3 and 4. So Immunity Island is at 4. Champions versus Contenders 2 is at 3.
Shit.
No, it's not better than that.
No,
Yeah.
I know. It's like I can't. Like I would argue, I like this more than Heroes versus Villains because George really carries that season.
Yeah.
Because it has the big episode 7, and then the Shawnee Blindside, and that's basically it, in my opinion.
But you've got Shawnee, you've got Simon's insane edit.
Nino's great.
Doesn't like Cage. That season's
it was so entertaining, and like even when
it won't matter, but I will put this at 4 below Champions versus Contenders, but it will still average to get below Immunity Island. I like this way more Immunity Island, even though the format did not help, but the gameplay is way better, and I consider that to make it a better season. Then if the format's good.
Yeah, I don't.
And again, top 5 season's good.
Yeah.
I know. Now I'm telling LaRue not to come on here.
LaRue?
The producer of South Africa?
I thought you meant the one-hit wonder of the song going in for the kill.
Well, that is it for, almost it. We did say that probably closer to Brains versus Brawn 2, we do the last New Zealand season. I did start binging New Zealand 1 because I was for completionist sake.
You better have that on like a 3-speed, man. That's gonna be brutal doing New Zealand 1.
Yeah, I at least like a couple players, Salah and Shannon, are like the standouts. But yeah, there's just a lot of boring people on that season as well. So, and the format sucks.
Yeah, and then I started rewatching 2, and it's not as good as I remember. It is a little bit of a slog.
Okay, so we will probably not be as high on New Zealand.
It will not be a top 5 season. I will say that right now.
Yeah, I'm interested to like watch both these through, and like I don't know, maybe we'll try to figure it out. Maybe we'll just kind of do like general talk about both seasons. I don't know. We'll kind of figure that out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out later. But anyway, until next time, go ahead, Jake.
Yeah. Well, so we'll see you guys for all the exciting stuff we have coming up for International Survivor drafts and things like that. We'll let you know when those are going up, and we'll see you all next time on the Tribe of Nerds.